All right, stream seems to be up and running nicely. I know it's a little bit before 3 o'clock, but let's just go ahead and get this going. I'm going to be continuing from my old file because I'm not going to like just restart a new file every single time that I start a stream because that'll get old really quick. But yeah, I was about, I'd say probably like halfway through the Pokemon HQ lab. If you want to get a look at my team real quick. Half of them are in reverse mode, which is totally great. It's going to be a very common occurrence throughout this playthrough. But yeah, team's looking good. All level 17 except for Teddy Ursa, who is mostly just here for paralysis utility. So let's head on forward and see what the Pokemon Lab has for us. Cypher Peon Meta? I don't know. Natu and Nincada, both very underrated Pokemon, actually. Too bad we're going to destroy them each in probably like a hit or two. But that's fine. I'm not in any way obligated to either of them. I think I'm going to go ahead and call Sfeel. And let's Shadow Blitz the Natu. I think Natu has pretty low physical defense, so it should go down pretty easily. There is no benefit to getting the heart gauge down beyond... just getting a couple of new moves on some of the lower level Shadow Pokemon. But since I'm not going to be purifying them anyways, then I think it just makes them go into reverse mode a little bit more often. So, yeah, that's just going to be what we're dealing with. Once we're out of the Pokemon, or the Shadow Pokemon Lab, I'll actually start being able to make, like, meaningful decisions about what I add to my team. But for the time being, it's basically just, like, is it level 17? If so, then I'd probably want it over the level 14 Shadow Pokemon that are available in the area. I'm just one of those things. Sometimes I forget how, like, just, like, limp noodly early parts of Pokemon games can be, because, like, these aren't necessarily my dedicated attackers by any means, but, I feel like all of these battles have been taking like 30 turns to take out 2 Pokemon. But that's just going to be what you're dealing with when you're at a bit of a lower leveled portion of the game. I mean, that was good damage on Nincada. A Wailmer! Look at that big round boyo. Wailmer is great. If you don't like Wailmer, then, you know, we can't be friends. I know I threaten that a lot of the time, but I mean it with Wailmer. Wailmer's great. Also, yeah, Pokemon XD AI is so weird because there are so many cases of these Pokemon using, like, not very effective moves or, like, not finishing off a Pokemon that was on basically 0 health. It's just a lot of weird choices. I guess Gulpin doesn't have Liquid Ooze. I haven't actually checked any of the abilities, partly because I know that I'm not going to be using these for, like, the entire game. I'm pretty much only going to be using them through this area and maybe the next area where you can catch some more Shadow Pokemon. But on the whole, they're really not going to be like mainstays in the long term. Okay, lower my attack, that's fine. I should be able to still finish you off. Oh, actually, you're still above half health, so this might be a little bit sketchy. Then again, Shadow Wave is going to be doing full damage this turn, so maybe Sfeel will be able to pull something out for me. And alright, yeah, nice. That full damage Shadow Wave really paying dividends right now. Hard to complain about that. Whew. Sfeel and Gulpin can now be purified, but they can't because that's a crime in this particular run. Also, for those of you curious, because you are required to purify at least one Shadow Pokemon to progress the story, I purified the Shadow Poochyena that you get in Gateon Port. Because these trainers aren't required, that means that they're not going to have any Shadow Pokemon, but I do kind of want that item box. I think I'm not going to bother with non-required trainers because experience doesn't matter, and I'm not going to need that many items, I don't think. Like TMs, I'm not going to be able to take advantage of. And healing items can be useful, but I can always just go to one of the healing kiosks. So for peon cable, I actually have a digital antenna, so I don't need your services, sir. Dumb joke, I'm sorry. Actually, no, it's a great joke and I stand by it, and how dare you suggest that I should ever be ashamed, even though it was me who implicitly suggested it. Oh, Carvanha is a shadow Pokemon. It's level 15. Okay, it might actually be worth consideration because I know that Carvanha has a pretty good attack stat. Even then, I think it's going to be pretty hard to beat. It's gonna be hard to beat what I already have going on. I think I'm gonna Mud Slap just to get some accuracy down, because even though I'm not gonna be taking much damage, I would prefer for Carvanha to just not be able to particularly hit me. I think that would be my ideal situation. Plus 3 chip damage always makes snagging a little bit easier. Thundershock. Interesting. I guess if that's the only move you have, but I feel like Magnemites at this level would have Sonic Boom, which would be a much, much more threatening move for it to use in this scenario. Okay, yeah, Shadow Wave doing barely anything, but it should do not very much on Magnemite, unfortunately. I could Mud Slap Magnemite. That'll probably KO it, if I'm being honest. Yeah, let's try that, and I'll just Shadow Wave again, just because I don't want to accidentally knock out Carvanha. Plus if Mud Slap doesn't quite finish it off. It's 4 times super effective stab. Yeah, that'll do it, even though Mud Slap is only like 20 power. Alright. Not really anything on the Carvanha, and not really anything on the Psyduck either. I guess I could just Mud Slap the Carvanha and then Bullet Seed the Psyduck. That'll probably be substantially better uses of their turns than trying to use Shadow Wave at all. All right. Not my defense down. Whatever will I do? How about I just murder you in front of your children? You probably don't have any children. You're only level 15. Okay, that was decent enough damage. I know that Seedot is more of a physical attacker than a special attacker, but hardly gonna suggest that that was a bad use of my turn compared to Shadow Wave. Ooh, critical hit with Mud Slap. All right, Carvanha's definitely in catching range, and Psyduck should be KO'd by the end of this turn, unless Bullet Seed misses. So pretty excited about that. Okay, Remoraid. All right, I guess I'll just keep what I've been doing. Ooh, Seedot is also in reverse mode. That's not ideal, but it's not really a problem either. I think I will catch with Baltoy and then Bullet Seed with Seedot, and if either of my Pokemon faint, then that's just how this day's gonna go. This isn't like a Nuzlocke or anything. Like, I'm not gonna like my Pokemon don't die if they're killed. It's just no Purification because the game is a little bit more interesting that way, I think. And that is my first failed snag, actually. I haven't like failed it, but it's my first snag that wasn't like the first catch. So that's unfortunate. Oh no, Remoraid using Lock On my Seedot. Using all those low accuracy moves that you have access to early in the game. Okay, about half health. It's not great, but it's not terrible either. I'll probably just do the same again. Catch with Baltoy and Bullet Seed with Seedot. And hope for at least better catching luck. and average bullet seed luck will be enough to take out the Remoraid. And, alright, got the Carvanha. Carvanha is such a great design, and if it had been released one generation later, it would probably have way more, like, fan base than it has. But by being a physical water dark type, released before the physical special split, it just got so screwed over by the type chart and how it worked back then. All right, if it only gets 2 hits with Bullet Seed and doesn't KO the Remoraid, okay, yeah, no, it's not a problem. Also, Baltoy fainted. I'm so sad. I really probably could stand to turn on a light in here so that you can see my beautiful face, but the dumb little boob light that's in the middle of the ceiling is like a really unflattering light. So I could scooch my curtains a little bit, maybe let in a little bit of sunlight. Yeah, that's a little better. I'm not too upset about that. Let's see how my Pokemon are doing. Seedot on low HP. Baltoy fainted. We're in a bit of a pickle, but I'll just switch these to the front. They should do plenty of work just by their lonesome. Oh, we can see the healing area. That's a cute little Easter egg. Who you calling a little boy, lady? I'm a man. I'm a big man. You don't know that I'm a big man. Jigglypuff and Chimecho. Before I watched the anime, I always called Chimecho Chimecho, just because that flowed a little bit better in my head. But I do know that it is Chimecho now. I'm going to focus it down just because if it has a Psychic type move, then it could potentially be dangerous for Gulpin. Decent damage. Chimecho's pretty tanky for this point in the game, actually. I also feel like if Chimecho were available earlier in the game, it would probably be more popular. But since it's sort of like tucked away on... What's the name of the mountain in Hoenn? It's not Mount Pyre, I don't think. But whatever the name of the mountain is, it's just sort of like tucked away in the back corner, so like no one ever caught it their first time playing the game unless they like had a strategy guide or something to know that it was there. And by the time you have access to it, it just has pretty underwhelming stats for a fully evolved Pokemon. So just another victim of Gen 3's mechanics and the way that the region was laid out. And Jigglypuff is not a fairy type in this game, which means that Sludge isn't going to be super effective. I still think it might be better, because Shadow Blitz is only 40 power, so super effective would be 80. And Sludge, I think, is 60 base power, so with Stab, that'd be 90. So I probably should be using Sludge anyways, even if it's, like, technically not super effective. I think it'll do more damage. And they're both physical moves because, again, this is pre-physical special split, so... Oh, Dunsparce. Dunsparce really needs, like, an evolution or a regional form, or if they decide to bring back Mega Evolutions, because it's so close to being good. Like, it has an amazing learn set, and, like, Serene Grace is a bonkers good ability, but for some reason they just don't want to grace it with, like, any sort of way to upgrade its stats, so... It's just sort of like languishing in just being a fully evolved Pokemon with mediocre stats. Surprisingly diverse move pool, but not really much else going for it. Alright. Also, Dunsparce has a lot of health, so this is probably just going to be 2 or 3 turns of me whittling it down with my strongest moves that are doing like a fifth of its health every turn. I don't actually know... damage calculation wise. I could also get a burn with Ember, which would be pretty helpful in terms of taking its health down a little bit faster. Plus it would deal less damage, so kind of a double whammy there. No burn, never lucky. I don't know. I think that Houndour's special attack is higher than its physical attack anyways, so... Alright, poison. That's fine. Ooh, we might actually get into a secondary usage of the call command, which is that it wakes up sleeping Pokemon. So if I don't finish this off in one more turn, then I can call Houndour and wake it up. And you'll get to see that amazing utility of the command. Of course, with the poison and everything, I'm probably going to take it down before Houndour falls asleep, but... Yeah, we're definitely going to take it down before Houndour falls asleep. Assuming that status mechanics work the way I'm expecting them to in this game. Okay, yeah, Houndour didn't fall asleep. So now all of my team is either in hyper mode or reverse mode. Sorry, it's hyper mode in Colosseum and it's reverse mode in this game, and I'm just not going to get it right. Houndour can be purified. Not by me, it can't. Ooh, Teddiursa has an item. Love that. Super Pataion. Alright, Spheal is still in green health and not in reverse mode, so I guess I'm switching Spheal to the front. I feel like there's going to be a trainer on the way out of this room, because they like to be jerks like that with rooms like this. Like, they don't have you face a trainer on the way... Oh, no, never mind. They just gave me an item. Hard to be upset about that. Ooh, I never thought that Cypher's big man. Master Greevil. I wonder if he's any relation to the perfectly upstanding gentleman who we met in Gatian Port. I don't know. They seem like genuinely good and decent people, so I doubt that they would be involved in criminal activity. Snubbull and Kecleon. Interesting combination of Pokemon. Intimidate on Snubbull is going to be frustrating. I wish there was a Shadow Kecleon, or that color change interacted with Shadow moves in an interesting way. But as it stands, Kecleon is just underwhelming. I don't know, Kecleon, there's so many Pokemon out there that's just like, I love what's going on here. I just wish you had better stats to be able to take advantage of your good qualities. Because especially in I don't know if it has Protean in Generation 3 or Generation 5 when hidden abilities get introduced. Because I don't know if Protean was an ability back then. But regardless, Protean is such a fun ability, and I wish that Kecleon could take better advantage of it, but it's just that frustrating reality of its stats just hold it back too much. It just doesn't quite have everything it would need in order to be successful as a dedicated attacker with Protean, or even a sort of weird utility, half sweeper, half wall kind of vibe. It's just sad. It makes me sad anyways. You might not care. And a Shroomish. Grumpy Cat the Pokemon. And it is a Shadow Pokemon. I don't actually know. It might have Spore as a move. If you get its heart gauge down a little bit. So it might actually be decent to keep around, even if I can't purify it. Oh no, Spheal! Anyway. Okay. Well, I guess I will go ahead and switch in Teddiursa and see about trying to get a paralysis off with Lick. And hopefully finish off this Kecleon with a Shadow Blitz. Spore would actually be pretty sick this early in the game. Unfortunately, I can't ever purify or evolve it in order to have better stats, but Spore might be pretty nice as a status move. I'm not going to grind it out too hard just because I'm not super going to have the opportunity to. But alright, so what do I want to do with Houndour? I don't want to take Shroomish's health too low. What does Shadow Shed do? Okay, I think that just like removes status changes or stat changes on enemy Pokemon, which is fine. I don't know. I said in the last stream that like I understand mechanically why Shadow Pokemon aren't available in multiplayer, because like a lot of Shadow mechanics would be like pretty strong. I guess what I could do is actually call Houndour so that it's not just passively hurting itself. And since I don't want to use Ember, especially while it's still burnable, just because I don't want to like take it too low and then do passive damage and KO it. But I might consider swapping in Shroomish for like Seedot or something. Just because if it has a chance of having like a status move, that might be pretty beneficial early on. Please get the paralysis. No paralysis. Unfortunate. Alright, I guess I will just lick and then Shadow Blitz. And call that good. Unfortunately, Shroomish has Shadow Blitz, and I know that its physical attack is not very good, but also it hasn't like Effect Sport at all, which is a little bit weird. I don't think Shroomish can have any other abilities in Gen 3, so I guess it's just not had very good luck. Nor have I with the terrible paralysis. I'm pretty sure that Lick is like a 30% chance of paralysis. I'm actually going to look that up right now. Because I'm pretty sure that Lick should be paralyzing way more than it has been. And yeah, there's that Effect Spore. Okay. Where is the Gen 3 attack dex? JKL. Lick. Base power. 30%. Yeah, it's got a 30% paralysis chance. And yet, I've licked it like 5 times and it hasn't gotten paralyzed yet. What's up with that? And Effect Spore makes both of them fall asleep. Oh, well, this is great because I can show off the call command waking Pokemon up. So, 2 birds, 1 scone. It woke up and came to its senses. All right, Pog. And Houndour will just wake up. So that is also good to know that it will both end reverse mode and wake up in 1 turn. That might come in useful moving forward if I ever get like slept on, as the kids say. All right, here's hoping that I'll actually get something useful off of Lick. If I do get, I think regardless of if I get a paralyzed this turn, I can probably just go ahead and start trying to catch because it's at about half health. So whether I paralyze or not, I'll probably start catching. But if I get a paralyze, then I might. Okay, cool. I think I will catch with Teddiursa and just Shadow Blitz with Houndour. I think that's probably going to be my best move. And, all right, nice. All right. Since I'm right by the entrance, I think I am going to go ahead and, like I said, switch out Shroomish and Seedot. Just because if there's a chance that I get Spore, or even like Stun Spore or Sleep Powder would be just absolutely amazing. So that I wouldn't have to haul Teddiursa around. There's the ID card that I needed to get into the other side of the building. You are an optional trainer, which means that you are not going to have a Shadow Pokemon, which is good for me, and a Great Ball. That will possibly come in handy in an upcoming fight. Not to spoil anything, but... And can I not go back this way? Okay. Well, I might remember to go back and get that one item in the Pokemon Lab, but since I'm not going to have anyone to remind me, I'm probably just going to not remember that it exists. All right, Pokemon storage. Let's swap out Shroomish for C-Dot, like I said. I wanted to have Shadow Wave in the party, but I think what I'm learning is that it's just not really that useful. All right, Charcoal and Black Glasses. I don't think I have any useful Dark-type moves, but I might as well go ahead and throw the Charcoal onto item storage. Withdraw items. Okay, I think this is just like a traditional item storage. Okay, but I think I might as well go ahead and toss the Charcoal onto Houndour since it does have access to a Fire-type move. So it's like... I should still keep Teddiursa in my party, though, just in case Shroomish doesn't have a status move. Gosh, I am struggling right now. I don't know how to navigate these menus at all. All right, and I will put the Charcoal onto, not use, I will give the Charcoal to Houndour and swap back in Teddiursa for Numel. All right, all my menuing done in record time. This is absolutely speedrun level. And it's gonna be great. You're gonna be so impressed by the final play time once that finally comes around. Alright, Pokemon are full health. Gulpin is in reverse mode, but that's not really the end of the world. I will switch Shroomish to the front just to ensure that it gets as much Purification as possible. And I'm going to keep Spheal in the front because I know that there's one particular Pokemon coming up pretty soon that I'm going to want a water type attack for. If you're as knowledgeable of this game as I am, then you'll probably know what I'm talking about. But if you're not, which you probably aren't because this is such a specific thing to know and to like try to prepare for. All right, no item boxes. All right. And Naps. This is the kid from whom we snagged the Teddiursa. So it's like a grudge match. And I don't believe they've entrusted him with another Shadow Pokemon, which, fair enough. Because, like, kind of... What's the word? Lost the bag on that? I think that's how the kids would refer to it. I don't know, I'm certainly not hip with slang, and if you're here with any expectation of that being the case. And also, yes, this Rhyhorn was the exact specific Pokemon that I was preparing for by having Spheal out in the front of the party. So, it's great. Should get the one-shot with Water Gun. Hopefully it's not faster. I know that Rhyhorn's not the fastest, but Spheal's pretty slow too, so... it could potentially... Okay, yeah, Water Gun goes first, and if this isn't a one-shot, then I'll be very surprised. Critical hit, yeah. That Rhyhorn never stood a chance. And Slackoth. Slackoth probably has, like, some status moves that I might need to be mildly concerned about, but I think, for the most part, I can just focus down Murkrow is going to be the more threatening Pokemon. Ooh, that's big damage. Here's hoping that at least Murkrow... Okay, nice. Got paralyzed with Effect Spore. That's the best outcome we could have hoped for. It's probably not going to go down this turn, but it's also not going to go first next turn, probably. So I don't need to be too worried about Shroomish in that regard. Also, Slackoth is... not going to be able to move next turn. So I could consider healing, but I think it's probably not worth it to waste healing items on this particular battle. I really want Shroomish to go into reverse mode so that I can call it and hopefully get its heart gauge down just to see what kinds of other moves that it has in its arsenal. But I don't know the exact odds on that happening. So... as much as I've played this game and as much as I remember a lot of stuff about it, I don't really have a lot of the, scientific knowledge, per se, about, the percent chances of stuff happening and, like exact mechanics of different things. But really? That didn't KO? Should have used Shadow Wave. Hindsight's 50-50. Right, Beldum can only learn Takedown. Ooh. Can you at least get Effect Spored for me? No. That's fine. Ooh, I can switch out Houndour and use Ember with my shiny new Charcoal. And it should easily one-shot Beldum. Or, I guess it'll technically be a two-shot because Mudslap did nothing. I really should have used Shadow Wave. Oh well. If you were here for strategic prowess, then you clicked on the wrong stream, buddy. I can tell you that much for free. Shadow Wave and Ember on Beldum. And if this doesn't finish this battle this turn, then I'm going to be very disappointed in everyone, especially myself. Okay, didn't quite get the one shot, but that's definitely in range for Shadow Wave. So, I am not worried even one little bit. Beldum goes down and Slackoth goes down. And of course you go into reverse mode on the last turn, so I'm not even going to be able to heal you. It might actually be good. I know that colognes cancel reverse mode. If you use like a cologne on a Pokemon, that might be helpful for situations like this, where I go into reverse mode at the end of a turn, and I'm not going to have a chance to heal before the next battle I get into. A Leaf Stone. Alright, so what am I looking at here? Spheal is on very low health. I will put... Let's go Baltoy and Houndour in the front, just because they're both at full health and not in reverse mode. I can't heal Spheal. And I have a Revive. I don't think it's worth it to use the Revive on Shroomish in this case. I think I would rather use it on one of my higher leveled Pokemon. I'm going to save before, spoiler alert, the first Lavrina battle, just because I would rather not, like, game over if I can help it. Or I would rather not have to, like... I would like to see if I can beat this battle while at relatively low health, rather than just, like, whiting out and winning it that way. I could go to the other like healing kiosk in the basement of the lab, but like I said, I think I'd like to see if I can just do this battle straight up, without having to resort to like just healing to full before everything. I also like Lavrina being the scientist for Cypher in this game, because like her personality, you wouldn't necessarily think like science prodigy genius, but like she's the chief scientist of Cypher in this game. So, you know, don't let looks deceive you. Don't be a misogynist is the lesson you can take away from Lavrina. Love Disc and Beautifly. I have Baltoy and Houndour out front. So I guess Ember on the Butterfree, Beautifly, and Shadow Blitz the Love Disc. Whew, she's got higher level Pokemon. Psybeam. Let's try Psybeam, because I could also potentially get the Confusion, and I've got Stab, and it's a much higher base power. So that might be the stronger choice. Here's hoping that Houndour can at least Ember before getting KO'd. Whew. This is big damage already. I'm stressed early on in this battle. But, you know, here's hoping. Nice solid half chunk with Ember, and of course I go into reverse mode, and Psybeam. Hopefully he'll do at least a decent enough chunk. And perfect scenario, you'll get confused. No, okay. This is pretty much the worst possible outcome of the first turn. guess just run it back and hope that they do something dumb is the best I can do, because calling is just going to be like, okay, Houndour will go before Beautify at least, hopefully. All right, let me swap in Gulpin, just because I think Gulpin's going to be the tankiest. And I'm pretty sure, okay, no, Houndour was not faster than Beautifly, but this will be not very effective if it decided to go on Houndour. And yeah, Gulpin took that hit like an absolute champ. All right, that's one Pokemon down at least. Roselia, another grass type, perfect for Houndour. Unfortunately, there's a good chance that Love Disc just water guns it. And that it's faster. So, okay, this is fine. This is all just preparation. This is knowledge gaining procedure. I could Toxic the Love Disc and just have it sort of whittle down, because I feel like I don't have a very good move for it, and there's a good chance that Houndour gets knocked out this turn anyways. Unless Love Disc decides to Water Gun Gulpin. Okay, yeah, that's not surprising. I might revive Houndour if things are getting dire, but for now, let's just swap in Spheal. I would like for Love Disc to be off the field before I send Houndour back in. Okay. Let's think this through. I mean, I'm going to have to switch in Teddiursa. I really wanted to save you for Paralysis, but it seems like my best choice might just revive Houndour and then heal it with like a potion or something so that I can be at full health whenever I get a chance to send it back in. So yeah, I think that is what I will do. I will revive Houndour and potion it next turn with Teddiursa again, and I'll just do damage with Gulpin. That's not great, but I don't think that Roselia is going to go for Leech Seed. Interesting. Okay, yeah, on Teddiursa. Honestly, Leech Seed on Teddiursa is probably the best we could have hoped for. So let's Sludge the Love Disc. All right, between that and Toxic Poison, that should be a decent amount of passive damage, to at least not be like in complete dire straits when the final Pokemon comes in. So yeah, let's go ahead and heal up. Do I have a potion? Okay, weakest I have is a super potion, but I do have 7 super potions, so it's now or never, I guess. Okay, so Houndour is now back at full health. I'll Sludge Love Disc. Hopefully, I kind of want Love Disc to go for Teddiursa. Yeah, okay. And I don't think Roselia... Okay, Roselia is going to Leech Seed, but Gulpin evaded. All right, perfect. Honestly, not even with like a hint of sarcasm, I feel like this fight is going pretty much as good as it could have gone. With what I went in with. So, pretty pleased with that. Oh, I can't even lick because Delcatty's a normal type. Okay. This is going to be a potentially pretty high-risk strategy. No, actually, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I thought I knew exactly what I was going to do, but I can't actually do it. I really need to call Gulpin. I could just go for a cheeky turn 1 Great Ball, but I don't think that that's really going to pay dividends for me. So what I'm going to do is lick Roselia, hoping that I can just get a Paralysis or something, and call Gulpin. If I can get a heal off on Gulpin before it faints, that might be sort of the ideal situation. Okay, that didn't do very much. So if Roselia goes for Leech Seed, Mega Drain, just don't go on Gulpin. Just don't go on Gulpin. Okay, yeah, perfect. Okay. So I can send in Houndour, who can take care of Roselia. I can heal up Gulpin. And then the battle should be in a pretty good spot from there. So I will Ember Roselia and Super Potion Gulpin. And we're in a good spot, honestly. Like, it was rough going at the beginning there, but hard to argue with the results. Shadow Rush isn't going to do very much because thankfully Shadow moves are counted as not very effective. So pretty much the worst thing would be, I guess, Leech Seed from Roselia. Or it just passively healing itself with Mega Drain. I really wish Gulpin had Liquid Ooze. That would be really, really advantageous right now. But, alright. So what I'm going to do is focus down Roselia. And then once Delcat is the only one on the field, I'll be able to start whittling her down. I don't think Leech Seed will pass over to Delcatty if we faint Roselia this turn, which is something to be thankful for. And I think Sludge should do enough. It'll be a neutral hit, but it's a pretty high base power move coming from a decent enough attack stat. Don't let me down, Gulpin, please. Okay. Yeah. No, we're in a really good spot. I don't really have a way to, like, just status Delcatty, but I guess it's as good a time as any to start whittling you down. And I can just heal and call as I need to. Don't really need to be too worried about that. A burn would be pretty good. It does increase catch rate, but it does do the passive damage, which means that I'm going to have to probably start trying to catch it a little bit sooner than I might, like, want to in a perfect world. But this isn't a perfect world, I guess. This is the one benefit of keeping Shadow Pokemon on your team, is that opposing Shadow Pokemon can't really do very much to you, because all of their moves are going to be not very effective. And Delcatty doesn't have very good attacking stats to begin with, so don't really need to be worried about that regardless. All right. I'm not going to use the Great Ball yet. I want to save the Great Ball until, like, I have a better chance, paradoxically. But I think I'm going to Ember and try a Pokeball with Gulpin. All right. I don't really know Delcatty's cat. Okay, yeah. It was a long shot, I know, but... Alright. Might want to call Houndour next turn to get a chance at healing it. Unless I get the burn, in which case I can just call and not worry about healing. Okay, yeah, I got the burn. So I think now is when I'm going to use the Great Ball, and I'll go ahead and call Houndour as my, like, second action next turn. But if I get the Great Ball to work, then that's just going to be Lavrina. Whew. I'm going to be really disappointed if I end up missing this snag. I don't think I'm going to reset for failed snags, just because that feels a little bit scummy, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, I guess, because I have not missed one yet. Whew. All right. And Delcatty being level 18, it's not the greatest Pokemon, but it is fully evolved, and it's a level higher than my others, so it's kind of going to be the perfect one to switch in. All right. We got a data ROM, which is full of all sorts of data, I'm sure. And I think it's just going to warp us back to the Pokemon HQ lab, which is nice. I know that the Purified Chamber is close to being done, and I don't know if they require you to actually, like, purify a Pokemon in it. But I know that they like give you the full tutorial at least. All right. I hope they don't require you to purify anything, but if they do, I guess I'll just get rid of like Lady Bar or something. Something that I have zero chance of trying to use. All right, yeah, we are getting the tutorial, so this is gonna be fun. How are your days going? What's going on in your lives, my children, my little Pokemon babies? This would be a much more interesting and relevant tutorial if A, I didn't already know how to do it, and B, I were planning on purifying anything today. All right, I'm done editing sets. Look at Eevee dancing around out here. It's great. How did you find the Purify Chamber? Using this system, it's possible to purify many Shadow Pokemon at the same time. But you can also access it from any PC, so be sure to use that feature. So this might actually be semi-useful for like getting the heart gauge down on Pokemon that I don't necessarily want to actively use at that moment, but I might just want to like see what extra moves they have. So it might be semi-useful for something like that, but since I'm not going to be purifying anything, I'm going to have pretty limited options in terms of like how the sets are going to go. So, all right, I'm going to, like I said, switch Delcatty in for who hasn't really been. I think Spheel's honestly been doing the worst out of all of these Pokemon, if I'm being honest. I want to keep Teddiursa in for just a little bit longer, just because of the paralysis utility that it gets, but it's probably not going to be a member for much longer. Let's see, 33 attack versus 19, 24, 21, 20, and 30. So Delcatty is just like barely stronger than Houndour. And it's worse special attack, but it does have both Shadow Rush and Shadow Wave. Nice. So slightly stronger physical and special coverage, and it can have 2 hidden moves. So I will definitely switch you to the front, and I'll also switch Shroomish to the front to be my guys. Have to get busy some more with the snag machine. Who am I supposed to talk to? I guess I'll just try to leave and see what happens next. Okay. We're going to check on the CD-ROM. I've got to find Dayton. Oh, Jovi, so exuberant. Whew. All right, so like I said, this is definitely going to be the point where I need to start making meaningful decisions about what I decide to add to my team and not, because it's going to be a little bit before we can really snag too many more Shadow Pokemon. And I'm going to be dealing with some higher level guys that I can't just like beat in one hit. I'm going to have to get a little tiny bit strategic. Next time I get the chance to go shopping, I think I'm going to go to Agate Village and pick up some the basic incenses, just so that I can just cleanse a hyper mode or a reverse mode whenever I need to. All right, so now it looks like we're gonna get to go to Pirate Town. Great area, amazing soundtrack. I'm pretty excited, but I am gonna go to Agate Village first, pick up a couple of the lowest level incenses, just to be able to get rid of a reverse mode whenever I need to. And I think I'm good on like healing items, but I guess I could also check if they have like better Pokeballs available, because I could only get like Pokeballs before. Pokeball, potion, super potion. I will go ahead and grab, let's call it 5 more super potions just to have them. And how many Joy Cents can I get? I'll only get 10 Joy Cents, just because I said this is more of like an emergency situation type of purchase. So I'm not super banking on like needing to get rid of a reverse mode without the chance to like just do it in the middle of a battle. Oh, Baltoy can now be purified. Sounds like a great use of my time. Something that I'm definitely going to look into. Love the soundtrack to Pyrite. This game does atmosphere so well, and just making the whole Ori region look just like run down and past its prime. We got a news crew doing news. All right, so let's head on to the Owen, or I guess not. Oh, Treadley and Folly. Love those guys. And Officer Johnson. I was just like, I forget his name, or like his rank. I remembered it was Johnson, but I don't remember what his rank technically was. I guess it's just officer. It is important to remember that this is a pro-crime stream. I think that crime is cool and makes you cool, depending on what the crime is, at least. Stealing Pokemon from loving homes, maybe not super punk rock. Maybe I'm not the biggest fan of that crime. But, you know, stealing from multi-million-dollar businesses, you know, I think that's pretty cool. I think it's actually pretty cute of anyone who does that. I don't believe that there are any Shadow Pokemon here in this game, just because Pyrite has cleaned up its act pretty considerably. So they're really just going to trust that I, a random child off the street, is here on like legitimate official business. Interesting business strategy there. I believe that most of the available items here can't be gotten until like the story happens. So I guess I'm just going to rush through until I can actually get to like doing something. What a concept. Actually getting to play a video game. Couldn't be me. I don't know, talking to people will like semi-trigger a couple of things, but I think that there's not very much you can do. Actually, yeah, I think there's the one girl who like you help her find her mom and you get like a small item reward now. Yeah, that girl in that room. I believe if you escort her to her mom, then you get like a full heal or something. Yeah, I'll help you find your mommy. The little girl joined the party. What moves do you know, little girl? What are your statistics in battle? No, I'm not going to force a child to fight. I'm just going to force animals to fight. Silly, goofy person. All right. Oh, such a heartwarming mother-daughter reunion. Do I not get a reward? Or Oh, okay, I do get a word. Soothbell. Cool. That is good for raising friendship. I don't think it affects heart gauge, like depletion or anything. But if I had Pokemon who needed a higher friendship stat, then that would be great. It would be super duper useful. Okay, I guess I'm not allowed in there. Do I need to talk to, I forget the other guy. The, like, guy who actually does the business stuff. The businessman doing business. But I don't remember where you are. Is that your office? Gosh, it's been forever since I've played this game, so I'm understandably gonna forget a couple things here and there. Whew. Alright, so now I can actually go and do story stuff. Whew. Not to allow anyone, though. He's checking the news stories. They're recording the news show. Okay, I have to go watch the news on the second floor. Makes perfect sense. All right, we're going live. We bring you a special something. The Professor Crane, the abducted head of the Pokemon HQ lab, has been safely rescued. Professor Crane had been held captive in Cypher's desert research facility, which was widely believed to have been abandoned. Reports say that Professor Crane was rescued by a lone teen. This incident is evidence that Cypher has returned after apparently being crushed 5 years ago. The authorities fear that Cypher's return could result in more serious incidents. Citizens are urged to be vigilant and cautious. I love that the news anchor's name is Anka. That's really great. Gotta love a cute little pun like that. All right, I'm gonna double check with Sec to make sure that I can actually go talk to Net now. Okay, Sec is aware of my existence after I've watched the news. So if I'm not allowed to do story now, then I'm just lost. I'm just in too much of a rush. I just want to get to more battles to show off the no purification run. All right. Do you feel useful now, Detro? Because you've been a detriment to my process. All right, what's poppin', folks? So that's Net and Bit. Interesting. All of these Ore names. All right. So again, I mentioned in the last stream that there are ways to get non-shadow Pokemon, and Poke spots are the way to do it. However, I am not going to be catching any wild Pokemon because I feel like if I'm doing a no purification run, it makes the most sense to use all shadow Pokemon. Because, like, of course I'm not going to purify the wild Zubat that I catch. Because it's not a shadow Pokemon. It can't be purified. All right. This phase of the story is also when we meet one of the best characters in all of fiction, really. And the teaser, the little bit of intrigue I'm going to drop is Afro. And that's all you're gonna get out of me. So let's head over to the first Poke Spot. Part of me is going to want to call them Poke Stops, but I know that that's the thing from Pokemon Go, a video game that I have played, but not very much. So I believe the Pokemon you can catch here are Sandshrew, Aaron, and Trapinch. Maybe Gligar? I don't remember. There are 3 Pokemon you can catch here, and then 3 that you can catch at each of the other ones. And this is, again, a great tutorial if I were planning on catching any wild Pokemon. Alright. Lay them all down. And when I leave, eventually... Whew. This is just kind of a really tedious part of the game if you aren't trying to, like, 100% explore everything. Because, like, I'm not trying to catch any wild Pokemon. There's a good chance you aren't trying to catch any wild Pokemon. But, like I said, Trapinch, Surskit, and Wooper. So if you can catch any of them, then you can trade them for even better and cooler Pokemon. And now we get to go to the third Poke Spot, which contains one of the best characters in this video game and in all of fiction forever. No, it's not Treadly and Folly, but we are about to meet someone really, really great. Oh yeah. Told you there'd be Afro. So, like, I liked Mirror B in Colosseum, but, like, what an upgrade to just, like, his design and overall personality. Yes, I want to join you, but I guess you're not gonna let me. Fine. Alright, let's jump into this battle. Wanderer Mirror B. Sorry, I just wanted to jam out to the music for a second. Mega Drain, not too terribly useful, but that's fine. And Attract, potentially helpful, but I think for now I'm just gonna focus down this one Lombre with my Shadow moves. Ooh, big damage from Delcatty, okay. I'll watch my mouth if I ever call you useless again, that's for sure. Ooh, Rain Dance. Yeah, that's Mirror B's biggest strategy is Rain Dance, and he has a lot of Pokemon that benefit from it, particularly, in this case, obviously, his Lombres, which will have either Rain Dish or Swift Swim. Looks like the one that we did damage to does not have Rain Dish, which means it has Swift Swim, which is going to be potentially dangerous, and Water Gun is going to do boosted damage in the rain, but you're going to use it on a Grass type, because that makes sense. Alright, Mega Drain. Okay, you're only going to heal 5 HP. Shroomish should still be able to get the KO with Shadow Blitz. And Delcatty is doing nice damage. I am really hard-pressed to be upset about that. I think they might have both had Swift Swim, because they both like outsped Delcatty turn 2. But let's Shadow Blitz the fresh one and Shadow Rush the half health one. Not very effective. Cool. And if you knock out Shroomish, it's really not the end of the world, but 1 HP, nice. You go, Shroomish. It'd be really funny if it goes into reverse mode and hurts itself, completely nullifying the fact that it survived on 1 HP. But I guess here's hoping that that doesn't happen. And now Voltorb, which is, in fact, a Shadow Pokemon. Gonna be snagging it. I don't know what level you are, and I don't know if you have any utility moves, but I think that regardless, this is probably the time for me to switch out Teddiursa and get something at least a little bit higher leveled that might actually be useful in a fight and not just in not just for like potential slight utility. But let's go ahead and focus down the Lombre just so that it's off the field. Alas, poor Shroomish, I knew you well. I don't want to put Baltoy at risk, so I guess I'll switch in Gulpin, just because it's pretty tanky. But as long as there's Lombre on the field, it's got 2 potential super effective moves, and a decent chance of using them. So yeah, I think probably best to not risk a Pokemon that's weak to both of its stab moves. All right, unless you have Rain Dish. You don't have Rain Dish, okay. I think I'm just gonna sludge the Voltorb, and you know what? Just in case something dumb happens, I'll go ahead and Shadow Rush the Lombre, just to make sure, just because Shadow Wave also isn't gonna do barely anything to Voltorb regardless. So probably better to just get the surefire KO on Lombre, and just start chipping down Voltorb. Alright, the Sludge move. That's going to do a tiny bit of damage. Poisoning wouldn't be that bad, honestly. Because it would at least be a status ailment. So I think I'll just Shadow Rush and Sludge again. Again, hoping early on that Delcatty goes into reverse mode just so it can see what its other hidden move is. And yeah, that didn't do very much, but I don't want it to do very much, actually. So good job, Delcatty. Delcatty has been pretty good so far. Delcatty's been treating me well. Okay, I'm going to Shadow Blitz with Voltorb, and let's just start... Well, no, I'm going to catch you in a Premier Ball, because catching you in a Pokeball would be redundant. I said I was going to be saving the Premier Balls for something a little bit special. You didn't realize it was going to be Voltorb. Voltorb has the benefit of being very fast, but it doesn't have very good attacking stats. If it has a good utility move, that'll be kind of the best case scenario. Because inflicting status effects is kind of a difficult thing to do when you're only using Shadow Pokemon. Because I don't think there are too many like pure status infliction Shadow moves. And what was I saying? And if they don't have good moves for it in their like second and third and fourth slots, then you're just not really going to be able to inflict status ailments. Oh, I did not mean to read the instructions again. I've been playing a lot of GameCube games recently just because like I've had this whole setup so that I can just play them on my computer. And it's surprising how many GameCube games have repeat the tutorial being the default option. And I guess that's kind of a good like feature for that to like always be available to you. But I'm just going back to the Pokemon Lab to heal and swap out Voltorb. These guys can be battled infinitely. I believe that now they would have slightly higher leveled Pokemon, so they're a decent enough level grinding spot if you need it. But I've never really found grinding to be super necessary in this game, unless you're like on some sort of weird run where you're only using like the lowest level possible Pokemon, or you're like constantly switching out your team. And Voltorb does come with the magnet, so if it has an electric type move in one of its slots, that might actually be pretty nice. Teddiursa, you've served me well. You've gotten like 3 or 4 paralyses off in the time that I've known you. But it's time for you to take a rest. I think I want to keep Shroomish in front just to see what its last move is. Again, if it's like a Stun Spore or a Sleep Powder, or it would be amazing if it had Spore, obviously. But just to see what sorts of uses I can get out of it would be pretty nice. All right, let's head back to No, not to the Oasis Pokespot, Kevin. Let's go to Pyrite Town. Whew. I also haven't missed a snag yet. Mirror Bee is the means through which you have the possibility of recatching Shadow Pokemon. It'll just go off randomly every few hundred steps or something if you've missed a snag. But as I have not missed a snag yet, I am not going to be seeing anything like that. However, I am about to have the opportunity to miss snags, so definitely pretty excited about that. Yes, Cypher has raided the ONBS building. Oh no, what a nightmare. Let's get going. Gonna explore a little bit more thoroughly this time just because there's gonna be some benefit out of it. And there are also going to be some new Shadow Pokemon for us to snag, so I might be switching out a handful of members of my team. Carvanha and Barboach. I guess it's good that I have Shroomish in front because it'll get that 4 times hit on Barboach. And then Delcatty. Ooh, Stun Spore. Okay, sick. I'm gonna get so much utility out of Shroomish. A guaranteed paralysis is so much better than relying on the 30% from Lick. Because like even beyond the fact that it's only a 30%, it's like it's just a move that I can throw out and it'll do what I need it to do. Unfortunately, Shroomish is pretty low leveled, so that's not absolutely ideal, but I'm hardly in a position to complain about it. And yeah, just Shadow Rush again. I promise that there are Shadow Pokemon you can catch. It's just the first required trainer didn't have any. If you explored a lot of these areas the first go around, then you would just be like kicked out. You probably saw it with the one lady who was getting ready in the dressing room. I believe that only required trainers have Shadow Pokemon, but I am going to double check, just because that's me. Except for Peon Mokor. Corphish and Electrike. I guess now that I know that Shroomish's other move is Stun Spore, I can go ahead and switch to the back and maybe start getting some moves on Voltorb. Would probably be a good way to spend my turns, but I don't really want Delcatty to get paralyzed, so I'm probably not going to attack Electrike, because Electrike will have static. I could use Shadow Wave too, because Delcatty has pretty comparable attack and ooh, Q-Charm, nice. Getting so much value out of that ability. Any value at all is more value than I expected, so. Bubble might get the double speed drop, but that's not really that big a deal. I think I am going to switch in Voltorb next turn, just because I don't think Shroomish is really going to do anything worth writing home about. So it'll be good to just have something on the field that can do a little bit more damage. Yeah, I'm not worried about getting it out of reverse mode. I think I'm just going to switch out for Voltorb to start getting some extra moves on it. Voltorb. And Voltorb comes with the magnet. I think I already pointed that out. But that'll be good for any electric moves that might be on its set, or any electric moves that I might come across in the future on other Pokemon. Bonk with the Shadow Rush. So electric types are not immune to paralysis in Gen 3 the way that they are in later generations, which is a little bit disappointing. Which means that if I Shadow Rush electric, I will have a chance of getting paralyzed even with Voltorb. But, oh, I guess Shadow Panic causes confusion to both Pokemon, I think? Let me check that. I mean, it's to cause confusion. Yeah, it is a 60% accuracy confusion on both enemy Pokemon. So yeah, this is where we start to see some Shadow moves that have like utility beyond just damage or lowering stats. I don't believe there are any like paralysis or burn type Shadow moves. I think there might be a Shadow Sleep later on in the game that you can get that causes sleep, obviously. I don't know, there are some surprisingly useful Shadow moves out there. We just haven't really super gotten access to a lot of them yet. But Shadow Panic's decent enough, I guess. I could potentially see it having some utility in some fights in this area. I don't mean to use Shadow Wave. I really should have used Shadow Rush, because Grimer has a little bit higher special defense than physical. But it might still do enough damage. Ooh, reverse mode. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise, because I'll be able to call Voltorb if this doesn't KO. And no, it did KO. That's fine. I'll be able to call it in the next battle because I will switch it to the front at the end here. Are there any items in here? Or no, just the undying gratitude of these people. Don't need it. I guess some of them might have given me items if I had talked to them. Oh, I always loved this Cypher Peon. The way that they, like, get on the elevator behind you, I've always thought is just very funny. Cypher Peon Torkin. What do you have? Kecleon. I've raved about Kecleon already, and Surskit, who I don't like nearly as much. Alright, I think I'm going to go ahead and call you and just Shadow Rush the Kecleon. That sounds like the best use of my time. I'm going to get to see what one of your other moves is, which I'm pretty stoked about. And that's not going to quite do half, but that's fine. I'm not worried about the Surskit. I don't think it'll really be able to do anything particularly devastating. So focusing down the Kecleon is going to be the way to go. I'll just use Shadow Rush with Voltorb and Delcatty. That's not a problem. And they're both definitely going to be faster because Delcatty is already proven to be faster and Voltorb's like a really fast Pokemon. Ooh, Spark, nice. Okay. That's really good actually, especially with the magnet. That's going to be pretty good. I'm pretty stoked on this, Voltorb. You're in my good graces, absolutely. Okay, so this will take down the Kecleon, and then it'll just be the Surskit and whatever their third Pokemon is. Yeah, we're in a good spot. I'll probably Spark Surskit and Makuhita. This might be a little bit dangerous, but Makuhita is a Shadow Pokemon, so it's not going to be using any Fighting Type moves on our Delcatty. I might see if it's vulnerable to an Attract, perchance. That might be something. Yeah, it is vulnerable to Attract, so that probably is a better use of my move than a Shadow move, which isn't going to do very much damage. Decent damage with Spark, almost a one-shot. And Attract is just going to be nice for preventing Makuhita from doing anything next turn. Alright, I guess I can just call Delcatty. and finish off Surskit with Voltorb, I think is going to be the play. What level is Makuhita? I think it was level 16, so lower than my Pokemon Lab buddies. Or no, that's 18. Okay, yeah. I might perchance switch in Makuhita when I get the opportunity, provided I catch it. I don't think that's going to be a problem, but it might potentially be a little bit sketchy. All right, so that's that. I'll probably spark with Voltorb and switch in Shroomish to get the Stun Spore. Unless, does Voltorb have Spark? Or does it have Soundproof? I think it can have multiple abilities. It probably has Soundproof, knowing my luck. But I'm going to Spark with you and switch out to Shroomish for a Stun Spore. That sounds like a good time to me, that's for sure. We're just hoping to get, like, high green, maybe yellow with, or low green, maybe yellow with this Spark. Alright, yeah, that's decent damage. That's about what I was hoping for. And unfortunately, by switching Delcatty out, the Attract just, like, wears off, and I don't think it ever got immobilized by Love, which is discouraging, but... Alright, I think I'm going to call Voltorb just so it doesn't keep doing damage to itself, and just Stun Spore with Shroomish, like I said. Voltorb came to its senses with the trainer's call. Voltorb is getting a little beaten up, but that's fine. Like I said, Makuhita isn't going to be able to do very much damage because Shadow moves are not very effective. The only thing that could possibly go wrong is if Spark gets a critical hit or like a weirdly high damage roll. And I don't think that's going to happen. So I think I'm going to Spark with Voltorb and Pokeball with Shroomish. If this catches, great, and if not, then Spark shouldn't KO unless I get a crit. Three. I believe, also fun fact, that Makuhita is the only Pokemon that is a Shadow Pokemon in both Colosseum and XD. There are Pokemon in the same evolutionary line that are available in both games, but Makuhita is the only Pokemon that is specifically catchable as a Shadow Pokemon in both games. Alright, what's my situation, Pokemon-wise? Low health, but not too bad. I'll probably just throw down a couple potions and call it good. I do want to potentially switch out Shadow Pokemon, but I think I'll wait until there are 2 or 3 that I can potentially swap out before running all the way over to a PC. Doduo and Tentacool. Alright, that'll be a Spark on Doduo probably, and just a Shadow Rush on the Tentacool. Just because Tentacool has high special defense and pretty low physical defense. So I think this is going to be the most potential damage. Alright, yeah, easy one shot on Doduo. Voltorb is pretty strong, not gonna lie. I've never actually used it for like a full playthrough where I could purify it, but for this point in the game, it's doing respectable damage. Alright, I guess next turn I'll probably just Shadow Wave or Shadow Rush with Voltorb on Chimecho and Shadow Wave with Delcatty. Just do that one last little bit of chip damage on Tentacool and hopefully a little bit of bonus damage on Chimecho. Alright, a little bit of chip damage and enough to finish off Tentacool. That's exactly what I was hoping for. Safeguard, not too worried about that. I was not planning on statusing you. I don't actually know. I'm going to check Voltorb's stats real quick. Attack is 16, special attack is 29, 55, 65, plus Spark and Magnet. Yeah, Spark's probably going to do way more damage than Shadow Rush with Voltorb in most cases. And I will go back to Shadow Rush on Delcatty. One of the things that I really love about Pokemon Colosseum and XD is that they don't force you to use sort of unusual Pokemon, but you get the opportunity to use a lot of Pokemon that you probably wouldn't necessarily pick on a normal playthrough just through some combination of poor stats, bad learn set. But because there are only less than 100 total potential catchable Pokemon, you're incentivized to try stuff out, see what you can potentially get to work better than it would in a more traditional game. And I really appreciate that. I think it adds a lot of interest and variety to replays of this game that you don't necessarily get from mainline Pokemon games. Because you can do stuff like this, where you just decide, I'm not going to purify any Pokemon, and I'll just try to keep competently leveled by catching all of the new Pokemon in the new area. You doing all right, bud? All right. So I am going to go do probably a lot more optional battles this time around, just because you can get items now that they're being attacked by Cypher. There is nothing back here. That's perfectly fine. Stop harassing women. Quillfish and Rhyhorn. So Rhyhorn probably has Lightning Rod, which is making me think that I want to switch out to... Do I have Spheal with me? I think I got rid of Spheal, actually. I could switch out to Shroomish and Mega Drain the Rhyhorn. Just because... I get the idea... Oh, sweet, Shockwave. I don't really want to test... I think I'll just Shadow Wave this turn, because I don't want to test Rhyhorn's, whether it has Lightning Rod, because I feel like that's just going to leave me disappointed. Ugh, that's a little bit more damage than I want on Delcatty right now. Okay, decent chunk. I don't want to get poisoned by Quillfish. So actually, nah, perfect. I'll probably just call Delcatty next turn. Never mind, it's gonna KO itself with reverse mode. So I guess I'll just swap in Voltorb and Shadow Rush and Mega Drain. Seems to be the play. I guess I could switch in... Yeah, Baltoy has Psybeam, so it'll at least be able to do super effective damage to Quillfish. It'll be vulnerable to Water Gun, but that's not really... I don't think that'll KO. Psybeam. And it goes for Shroomish anyways, so yeah, it's definitely not going to KO Baltoy. It's easy to make good plays when the AI has no idea what it's doing. Nice, good chunk of damage on Quillfish. And in goes Chinchou. Chinchou has Volt Absorb, probably. But I do happen to have a Grass type and a Ground type out. Stomp. Ugh. That's a rough bit of damage. It's a good thing that I can't get flinched because it's so much slower than me, but... I guess I will just Mega Drain on Rhyhorn, and... I know that Mud Slap isn't going to do a lot of damage, but lowering accuracy might be a little bit nice right now. Just so I don't know what Chinchou is capable of. Yeah, that did hardly anything, but that's fine. I'm mostly in it for the accuracy lowering. Come on, don't hurt yourself. Alright, nice. So there goes Rhyhorn. I'm probably going to have to heal after this battle. I might see if I can get 1 or 2 more in before I have to leave. Just because, like I said, if I'm going to switch out any shadow Pokemon, then I would like to switch out more than 1 at a time. Coughing, that should be easy. I can just Mega Drain with Shroomish and Psybeam with Baltoy, and that'll be good. So yeah, let's Mega Drain Chinchou and Psybeam Coughing. Okay, guess I'm not going to be Psybeaming. What do I have? I guess I could switch back in Voltorb. I don't know if Chinchou has Volt Absorb, but I know that it definitely doesn't have Lightning Rod. Or at least like 90% sure that it doesn't have Lightning Rod. So I should be able to Spark the Coughing and that'll be fine. And you hurt yourself. Alright, this was a completely wasted turn on my part. Alright, let's try Mega Draining again and Spark on Coughing. Good chunk damage, about halfway to KO %. Ha! You missed. Smog. Smog does damage. Poison Gas is the one that just poisons. I think it still has a pretty high chance of poisoning, but it's not guaranteed, at least. Alright, Shroomish. Nice. Mega Drain. It's definitely not going to KO, but it should do a decent chunk and also heal Shroomish back up a little bit. Alright, yeah. Not perfect by any means, but definitely in a much better position than 1 turn ago. So let's Mega Drain Chinchou and Spark on Coughing. That seemed to work so well last time. If I can get the KO on Coughing, then I'll just switch back to Shadow Rush and focus down Chinchou. Or I guess I could call Voltorb, see if it has maybe Thunder Wave, but I think its second move is like a Screech or metal sound or something. It's something like pretty worthless, if memory serves. So I snapped out of confusion just to be fully paralyzed. I do want to know what Voltorb's last move is, but I think it's probably better for me to just finish this battle and go heal and maybe grab Makuhita. Yeah, I don't love the idea of having to wait to find out Voltorb's last move, but I think it's probably a better use of my turn than... nice. So now I know that Voltorb has Soundproof, even though I've looked at it in the stat screen several times. I just kept forgetting to check for ability. All right. We are not looking great, but it's honestly not terrible. I also can't really use any healing items right now. I'll try one more battle, just because I don't want to leave yet. I want to catch at least one more Shadow Pokemon before I leave, but it'll depend on whether Misen has one, and if I can actually catch it. Spinarak and Beautifly. I have Voltorb out front, so Spark should do big chunk on Beautifly. And then I guess I'll just Shadow Rush with Gulpin. And Swift. Okay, that's not good, actually. I'm not even gonna say like it's not terrible, but it's pretty terrible. So I'll just Shadow Blitz with Spinarak and Spark with Voltorb. Nice, nice. And a Paralyze. Thank goodness. I know that it wouldn't be like the end of the world if Beautifly like got a really good turn in, but I would like to avoid my enemies having any success. That's just the way that I live my life. Scary Face, that's going to lower speed. Thankfully, Beautifly is paralyzed, who's definitely who I'm more scared of right now. But I don't love that Voltorb is slower. Let's just do the same thing as last turn. Voltorb is still the fastest on the field, even with harshly lowered speed. Beautifly probably would have been faster, but Beautifly was paralyzed, so I didn't even need to worry. And a Dustox, jeez. I guess I do have Houndour in the wings, so I'll probably Spark Spinnerack and then, I don't know, Shadow Rush probably. Or Shadow Blitz on Dustox is probably the way to go. Dustox might be faster since Voltorb's speed has been harshly lowered, but here's hoping that I can at least get one more hit off with Voltorb. Gust, yeah, that's not going to do any damage to Voltorb at least. Yeah, 4 damage, that's nothing. And Spark should be good to take down Spinnerack with the health it was at. Which is just down to Dustox and whatever your last Pokemon is. Vulpix! Vulpix, if you could believe it, is a Shadow Pokemon. So this is good. This will be a good opportunity for me to go back and heal and switch out some Pokemon. And get all that good stuff out of the way. So what do I want to do? I think, honestly, just try to focus down Dustox while Voltorb is still up. Shadow Wave shouldn't do very much. Okay, 2 damage. If Dustox goes for another Gust, that'll be 4 damage. Confusion. I hate to say please go on Gulpin, but alright, that's unfortunate. But that's fine because I can switch in Houndour, and Houndour can Ember, and that should do good damage to Dustox. Probably enough to KO, so I could maybe throw a Sludge onto Vulpix or something. We'll see what Dustox health is looking like. A little bit more than half. I'll try an Ember just to see what kind of damage I can get off. Confusion isn't going to do very much. Gust isn't going to do very much. So Houndour is not really at any risk unless Dustox has some sort of weird status move. Shadow Wave. Also not going to do hardly anything because Shadow moves. I got like weirdly strategic early on. It's really not all that necessary. Ooh, that did quite a bit of damage actually. Maybe being strategic is necessary, but Ember should take out Dustox. I know that I'm at a 3-level disadvantage, but I have Charcoal, I have pretty good special attack. I did not take it out. Burn, at least? Okay, no. That's maybe a little scary, but I do have Shroomish in the wings still. It's paralyzed, but it's something at least. Okay, now that Vulpix is poisoned, I really don't want to do any damage to it. So I think I'll just Shadow Blitz the Dustox twice, hope that none of my other Pokemon faint, and then I'll start trying to catch Vulpix. I'm on a timer thanks to the poison, but the poison also raises the catch rate, so it's kind of it's a 50-50. Inside me, there are 2 wolves. One that is happy that Vulpix is poisoned, and one that is upset that Vulpix is poisoned. And Shadow Blitz with Gulpin. Alright, so this is definitely Dustox going down. What do I want to do with my next turn? Well, I know I'll probably call Houndour and Pokeball with Gulpin. Because it's poisoned, this would be the snag that I failed, but I am the best Pokemon player who's ever lived, so really, there is no reason to ever be concerned. Alright. So I don't actually know if Vulpix is going to have any Fire-type attacks, but since it's a level higher than Houndour, and it has at least Shadow Wave instead of Shadow Blitz, that seems like a good swap. Shroomish has Stun Spore, which is a guaranteed paralysis. So I'm trying to think of who I might want to switch out Makuhita for. The real choices are Baltoy and roomish pretty much. Because Gulpin's still been doing pretty well for me, and Toxic has the potential utility if I just want to like slap it on something and then not worry about it anymore. So I'm going to heal first. I think Guaranteed Paralysis right now is better than really anything Baltoy has to offer me, unfortunately. So I guess that'll be the switch out. So I will switch you for Baltoy. And I'm going to grab the Charcoal off of Houndour. Like I said, I don't know if Vulpix is going to get any Fire-type moves, but if it does, I want to just have that on standby to boost up its damage a little bit. So Delcatty and Voltorb have both of their moves. So I will switch these two to the front to give them a chance of getting their hidden moves. And that'll be pretty much it. Grab a Great Ball while I'm here. That'll be useful for snagging a Pokemon or two. I'm so sorry, Rocket. Oh my god, just let me cross. Sorry, okay, you're satisfied? You're good? What an inconsiderate man. Ugh. Alright, yeah. All my Pokemon are full health. I just healed. I don't know why I got like paranoid for a second. Felt like I needed to check on that, but no, we're good. All right, what's out here? Item box, very nice. Got a revive, that'll potentially come in handy. Granted, the healing machine is right there. I know there's one more trainer in the way of it. Okay, there were 0 more trainers in the way of it, but I did want to switch out Pokemon, so it's, you know, it's one of those. I still stand by going back to switch out Pokemon. Sneasel and Yanma, both Shadow Pokemon in the first game, and neither are Shadow Pokemon in this game. Sorry, spoilers, I guess. That I'm not going to be catching either of these because I can't possibly do that. Shadow Wave and Shadow Blitz. I think I'd rather take down Yanma just because Yanma has some potentially annoying stuff. Sneasel is... that's good damage, but Sneasel doesn't really have anything that I'm too afraid of. Yeah, I'm more afraid of Sonic Boom, I think, just because that's a guaranteed 20 damage. Like, there's no, like, rolls or range or anything. That didn't do very much. And that also didn't do very much. But it's okay. Shadow Blitz, Makuhita doesn't have the best attack stat, but... okay. I'm not, like, in love with the damage that either of these are doing, but... alright, quick attack. So, if they decide to focus Makuhita this turn, then that could be really bad. Okay, Foresight. Yeah, no need to be worried. So, just still whittling down Sneasel a little bit, and Yanma will almost definitely go down to this Shadow Blitz. The one thing that I really appreciate about reverse mode over hyper mode is that reverse mode only happens after a Pokemon has a chance to properly attack, while hyper mode could happen before the attack. I don't know what Misdreavus is really capable of, but I think if I get a chance to use Makuhita, I would rather take down Sneasel. Psywave. I don't think this is a guaranteed KO on either of them. Okay, yeah, Vulpix goes down. That's sad. But fortunately, the healing machine is right there, and I guess I will just swap in... I'll swap in Delcatty. I think Delcatty's going to be better than Voltorb against these two. Sneasel, okay. Decent enough. I definitely want to take down Sneasel, so I'm going to Shadow Rush, and I'm not sure how this is going to go. Yeah, Maki didn't get to attack anyways, so. Voltorb. Psywave. So this can do up to 30 damage, I think, and it only did 10, so cool. I believe it's half to 1.5 times their level, so it can potentially be pretty devastating this early in the game. I mean, at any point in the game, theoretically, but it's really not the hugest thing. And Duskull, also a Shadow Pokemon. I'm probably not going to bother switching it in, even if I go back again, just because I know that it has Shadow Wave for its main move. It's not really going to be doing any noteworthy damage. So I think I'm going to just focus down Misdreavus. That feels like a better use of my time than trying to like split my attention between the two. All right, that can't possibly hit Voltorb or that can't possibly hit Delcatty. So yeah. Bonk you. Okay. Okay, yeah, Duskull has Shadow Wave, so that's going to do barely any damage, compounded by the fact that it's going to be like an auto not very effective hit. I know that Misdreavus is going to have a chance to hit Voltorb, but Voltorb isn't going to be able to KO Misdreavus, I don't think, so I'd rather just hit Duskull. Get a chance at Paralysis, but it's not the end of the world if I don't get it, obviously. Right, this could do up to 30 damage on Voltorb. Okay, cool. Not devastating at all. Shadow Hold, I can't switch out, but that's fine. I wasn't really planning on it anyways. Shockwave on Delcatty isn't going to do as much as Spark on Voltorb. So I think Duskull should be able to live both of these hits. It's not the end of the world either way, because like I said, I'm probably not going to use Duskull, but I want to fail as few snags as possible. Okay, reverse mode. So next turn I will probably call Voltorb and just chuck a Pokeball at Duskull. Yeah, as I suspected, didn't do hardly anything. I definitely want to call Voltorb though, because that passive damage is going to be dicey. No need to use up a Great Ball yet. This is a pretty easy battle. Even if I don't catch, Duskull stands 0 chance of knocking me out, so... 2, 3. Nice. But yeah, I don't know what Duskull's other moves are as you get its heart gauge down, but Shadow Wave isn't going to do anything useful. It's not tanky enough to justify using it just as a wall. It just doesn't feel particularly worth going back to use it. I'm going to heal up real quick since I'm here. And do a little more Spalorin. What do you have to say for yourself, young lady? Awa! I mean, that's something. You're really not dilly-dallying to get into this battle. That was a pun on the fact that her name is Dilly. And dilly-dally is a common phrase used to refer to people waiting around and not accomplishing anything. But she did not wait around. She got straight to business. And I'm about to give her the business. Am I right, boys? Ha ha. And yawn. I don't love that you used yawn, but I also don't think it's going to be a big deal. Okay, so if I Shadow Blitz Gulpin again, and just Shadow Wave with Vulpix, then Gulpin should go down at this next turn. I want to avoid directly attacking Marip because it probably has static. But that's fine because Shadow Wave seems to be doing decent damage. So if I just keep on kind of passively whittling down Marip, that should be more than enough. Yeah, it's doing about a quarter health each time. Pretty nice. Ooh, that Sludge did a lot of damage. Alright, Shadow Blitz should take down the Gulpin. Or not. And T-Shock. Don't think it's going to be too devastating, but Makuhita is on pretty low health. Okay. Ugh. For some reason I remember Vulpix having better special defense than... I don't need to call you because you're fine. So I'm just going to Shadow Wave and call Makuhita to wake it up. So this will take down Gulpin for sure and get Marip into the red. Or I might get a lucky critical. You never know. You never know in the world of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. And no critical hit, but that's fine. Marip is well into the red. She's switching into Love Disc. If you don't aim for Vulpix, I would be happy. I mean, aiming for Makuhita is not exactly good either. Here's hoping that I'm fast enough that I can actually do something to Love Disc. Okay, Love Disc does Safeguard, so that's not going to be a problem. Vulpix will KO the Marip. So both my Pokemon are definitely going to get to attack this turn. How often does that happen? That did basically nothing, but I'm not scared of Love Disc. And Marip goes down. Blossom's going to be pretty strong for this point in the game. Alright. I guess just keep doing what I'm doing. That's not going to be good for either of my Pokemon right now. Vulpix lived it. Dang. You go, kid. I don't think I'm going to be able to take down Love Disc. Maybe, like, just barely if I get 2 good damage rolls in a row. And Blossom, yeah, is going to take another turn or 2. Okay, that's unfortunate. But at least Vulpix got to attack, so it's not a complete lost cause. What do you have, Blossom? I guess I could switch in Gulpin because I'm going to get that super effective hit with Sludge. And then I can just Blitz Love Disc if it doesn't faint to this Blitz right now. And nice, I got a good damage roll. Perfect world would be Makuhita going into reverse mode. Nice! I didn't even get to say it before it happened. So I can call it, get its second move, and then just Sludge with Gulpin. I'll probably get its second move. It looks like it's in pretty good range for that to happen. Or third move, technically. Stun Spore missed. Alright, this was a pretty high-value turn. Not gonna lie. Not the greatest damage in the world, but it's something at least. So let's Sludge with you again, and Arm Thrust. I think Shadow Blitz is going to be better, but neither is going to be great, honestly. And there's a good chance that you don't even get a chance to move. Okay. Or Blossom's going to go for the not very effective hit on the full health Pokemon instead of the neutral hit on the 6 health Pokemon. I keep expecting the AI to do, like, intelligent things, like artificially intelligent things, but instead they just do questionable things. Which, like, listen, I guess it's fine if my Pokemon aren't fainting and her Pokemon are, but okay, see, that's more what I expected to happen. And it doesn't really matter who I switch in because I don't have anyone who's up for greater purification. So I guess I'll just switch in. Oh, I could have switched in Voltorb and called it, just so that I could have it out of reverse mode. But it's fine. Actually, no, I wouldn't have had a chance anyways, so it's whatever. Whew. I remember at least one of these side trainers being, like, required in having a shadow Pokemon, but it's seeming like that's really not the case. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, healing up again. So Makuhita's arm thrust. Fighting type stab is never going to be bad. It's never going to be unhelpful. But it's, unless we come across like a normal type or something. One of the types that fighting is strong against. Speak of the devil. Two normal types. All right, we're going to get to see if arm thrust is going to give us some value. And I believe Vulpix will also have a good chance at getting its... no, it won't. Never mind, I'm a liar, man. That's fine, I'll just Shadow Wave and Arm Thrust on the Furret. I know that the Zigzagoon is higher leveled, but Furret is fully evolved, so it's going to pose a potentially greater threat. I kind of want Vulpix to go into reverse mode so that I can at least get one more move on it before getting into the boss battle in this area. Because if I could get a fire type move on it, I don't know if you have a fire type move at all, but if I could get one, I'd be very appreciative. Alright, decent chunk. I think I will just lather, rinse, repeat. Alright, 20 damage. But you're going to be going down, so I don't need to worry about taking another one. Ooh, critical hit. Nice. Here's hoping that they at least switch into something that is not ghost type. Something that I can at least do damage to. Okay, it'll be neutral hit, so could be worse. Thankfully, Togetic is not fairy type in this game, otherwise I would just do like a nothing roll. Alright, that definitely is damage, but it's not very much damage. So I'm not too worried about taking the Zigzagoon down with any particular urgency. I think I would rather focus down Togetic if I'm going to focus either of them down, because one more Shadow Wave will take down Zigzagoon. Sand Attack's annoying, but I don't think it'll be a huge problem, I hope. And Peck, not on the super effective hit, but you're not going to see me complain. Alright. Yeah, so Shadow Wave will definitely take down Zigzagoon. And if I get like another crit, maybe it'll take down Togetic, but probably going to have to just wait for the Blitz from Makuhita. Of course I get the critical hit on the one that I don't need it. I gotta love Pokemon luck. Delibird. Certainly one of the Pokemon of all time. Alright, if you were going to lower a Pokemon's attack, I definitely would rather it be Vulpix. Alright, so now I can just focus down the Delibird and call it good. I think in order for... provided that Shadow super effective moves are calculated the same with Shadow moves, I think I would need to get like 4 hits on Arm Thrust for it to outdamage Shadow Blitz if it's a neutral hit. If Arm Thrust is a neutral hit, I mean. So. Alright, this isn't going to do very much because it's split. 5 damage on Vulpix, and Makuhita probably has Thick Fat. Or I don't remember what its other ability can be. Alright, that's going to take down Delibird. I should probably like see what abilities my Pokemon have. Before just like boldly making strategic decisions about them. What do you have? Thick Fat, okay, so that'll have damage, and Flash Fire powers if hit by fire. Effect Spore, Soundproof, Sticky Hold, okay. Sticky Hold, not the ability I would have ideally had on Gulpin. I believe you can use vitamins on Shadow Pokemon. I don't want to test it right now because I don't really want to use it on any of these guys. I guess I could like save and try it Yeah, I think I'll save just to see if I can use vitamins on shadow Pokemon. And only actually use them. Okay, you can use vitamins on shadow Pokemon. But I am going to reset just because. Sorry, I am going to reset just because I don't actually want to use an HP up on Vulpix. But that is good information that I do not need to purify Pokemon in order to use vitamins on them. It's funny watching the stream replay when, like, because I don't have the main light on in my room, whatever flashes on screen determines how well illuminated my face is. So if it's like a lot of the screens, they'll do hardly anything, but like a lot of the like logos and stuff were way louder or way brighter. Sorry, got distracted by the old man. All right, another battle. I believe they'll have a shadow Pokemon, but I don't think that, unless I went out of my way to get more moves on it, it's probably not going to be more useful than anything that I currently have. I'm worried about that Kadabra. I think I'm going to switch out Makuhita just over to like Delcatty or something. Ember, okay, yeah, I definitely got to remember to put the charcoal onto Vulpix before the next battle. Yeah, I'll switch in Delcatty just because it's most likely to be able to tank a Psybeam if the AI decides to use a Psychic type move on my Fighting type Pokemon, but you never know. Okay, Confusion only. I thought it would be high enough level to have Psybeam, but or it's just going to use it on Vulpix. It's like you can't make this stuff up. That almost definitely would have been a KO on Makuhita, but instead they just go for the nothing on Vulpix. Listen, if I could explain it, I promise I would. Let's just go for a Shadow Wave again, and Shadow Rush the Kadabra. Why? I'm not going to look a Gift Horse in the mouth. Not going to do it. Alright, this is a little bit rough. I don't know if Voltorb is going to be able to do very much, but I feel like it's probably the better choice over anything else that I have waiting in the wings. I guess it has a decent chance of being faster than Kadabra, so if I could get a Shadow Rush off on Kadabra, that would be kind of perfect. And then I guess I'll just also Shadow Rush Fluffy with Delcatty. I know I'm going to have a chance of getting... Okay, yeah, I'm not faster anyways. But... Okay, Delcatty goes down. Disappointing, but I'm pretty sure Voltorb will be able to get Kadabra off the field, so I can switch into Makuhita without any worry. I think Makuhita over Gulpin is the play right now. Granted, I think that Gulpin probably could have done more to that Fluffy. I could have, like, Toxiced it or something. Or, never mind. Vigoroth is going to be perfect for me to use Arm Thrust. Alright. I will gladly accept that. Alright. I know that I can get staticked by Fluffy, but I could go for Shadow Panic, actually. Yeah, I think I'll go Shadow... I feel like damage is probably the safer way to go. No, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to... Sorry, I know I'm being very indecisive right now. I'm just going to really focus down the Vigoroth because I'm way more scared of it than I am of Fluffy. Paralysis would be ideal, but just a chunk of damage is good enough. Focus Energy. That's a little spooky. Here's hoping I get a good roll on Arm Thrust. If I can get like 4 or 5 hits on arm thrust. 0 hits with arm thrust is also a possibility. Yeah, I'll go Gulpin. I think I'll probably just Toxic the Fluffy. And Spark the Vigoroth again. Hopefully get a paralysis on the Vigoroth. And Toxic is Toxic. So it'll just sort of whittle down Fluffy. Might have to tap into some healing items. Soundproof blocks Uproar, very nice. And Tackle, not going to do very much. Toxic on Fluffy. And, alright, we're in an okay position. I think I'll probably Sludge Fluffy next turn and just keep sparking Vigoroth, unless... I don't actually remember what sort of health percent Vigoroth is at. Yeah, I think I would rather make sure to get Vigoroth off the field this turn. So I will Spark and Shadow Blitz. Here's hoping it goes for an Uproar on Voltorb again. Because that would be perfect. Or Fury Swipes. Okay, I'd rather you go on Voltorb, yeah. Even if it doesn't KO this turn. Okay, honestly, I'm pretty satisfied with that. Because I believe that their last Pokemon is a Shadow Pokemon. Which means that Shroomish doesn't need to be worried about it. Gulpin doesn't need to be worried about it. So then I can just take down the Fluffy. Or whittle down the Fluffy with Gulpin. Paralyze the Ralts, which is a Shadow Pokemon. And it has Trace, so I don't need to worry about Synchronize. Fluffy is slowly getting poisoned, so I'm going to Stun Spore on the Ralts and Sludge the Fluffy. Ralts having Shadow Wave sounds nice in theory, but since it's a basic Pokemon, its special attack isn't going to be very high. So you're really not going to see very much value out of that. Alright, Sludge on Fluffy. Not great, but fortunately it'll be 3 turns of Toxic now, so start doing hopefully a little bit more damage. The only reason I'm not using Shadow Blitz is because I don't want to get staticked. It wouldn't be the end of the world to be paralyzed because I'm in a pretty safe position right now, but I think that getting paralyzed would be like pretty annoying and unfortunate right now. So I think I'm going to Mega Drain the Ralts just to A, do some chip damage, and B, keep Shroomish a little bit healthy. And Sludge Fluffy again. Like I said, I'm not too worried about Fluffy. It can do a little bit of damage here and there, but because Ralts also isn't threatening, I can just heal as needed pretty much. And one more turn of poison from Toxic should take it down. And that's, you know, that's something. Shadow Wave is going to do 2 damage and 3 damage. Okay, yeah, I really don't need to worry about Ralts. Okay, so I think Poison is going to take down Fluffy. And I don't remember if I'm faster than Fluffy anyways. So I think probably just Mega Drain and Shadow Blitz on Ralts is the play. Yeah, I'm slower than it anyways, so I couldn't really prevent myself from taking damage, so I'll just let Toxic finish it off and do some more chip damage on Ralts. Or that could happen. But either way, Fluffy's going down, and that's the best and most important thing that could happen this turn is Fluffy going down. Because Ralts isn't going to be able to do any damage. or it's going to get a critical hit, but that's fine. I can just call Gulpin so it won't at least take reverse mode anymore, and just Mega Drain again with Shroomish. Shroomish is in very slight danger, or not Shroomish, Gulpin is in very slight danger, but I'm not worried. I think if I just call it, there's a chance that Ralts won't even be able to move because of paralysis, but even if it does, it looks like it's only been doing 3 damage without a crit, so I'm probably safe. That's fine, I can catch this turn anyways, so... Alright, 1 HP. Perfect. There's like a pretty much 100% chance I catch this. So I probably... Yeah, I think I'm not going to bother. I think I'm not going to bother using a healing item. Just because I'm pretty much guaranteed to catch this anyways. And even if I don't, like, Shroomish isn't really in any danger, so... Yeah. I guess the play really would have been to call Shroomish and throw the ball with Gulpin, but... Like I said, I was pretty much guaranteed to catch it anyways, so... No reason to be concerned. Alright. Shroomish can now be purified. Alright, I'm going to give the charcoal over to Vulpix, just to get a little bit more value out of Ember. I'm going to give it to Vulpix. Heal up. And I think I'm going to lead with Delcatty and Voltorb just because they've been my more like safe and consistent picks. Delcatty's not really going to be weak to anything, and neither is Voltorb, because Electric is only weak to ground, Normal is only weak to fighting, so unless there's a ground Pokemon and a fighting Pokemon, they'll be a pretty safe combination. Plus they can do pretty consistent damage. Not to spoil the fact that there's a boss battle, but like, of course there's going to be a boss battle. I can't believe they scrubbed the servers and took the data ROM. He has no time to waste, so instead of just punching me in the face, he's just gonna fight me in a fair battle. Makes sense to me. Alright, Girafarig and Loudred, nothing too scary. So I think I'd rather focus down Girafarig just because it's more likely to have like weird utility moves. Decent enough chunk, and Shadow Rush should be a pretty... Ooh, paralysis, thank goodness. Okay. It's fine if Voltorb goes down, honestly. Paralysis this early in the battle is going to be huge. It means that I'm not going to get flinched with the Girafarig stomp. Let's see. I guess I could swap in Makuhita. It's not going to be able to do like huge damage against anyone, but it's at least got a super effective hit. Alright, Girafarig's one hit away from KO. Stomp. Just not on Makuhita, so I don't flinch. Okay, perfect. And here's hoping for at least 3 hits. 3 hits and I'm happy. Alright, I'm happy. Don't love that. But Okay, yeah, I don't love that. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do here is Shadow Rush the Loudred and Shadow Blitz the Girafarig. Just because Girafarig's paralyzed, so Gulpin's almost definitely going to be faster than it. And I at least have a chance at KOing the Loudred before it completely ruins the rest of my life. 2 HP. Not great, but still not dead. Okay, just be fully paralyzed, Girafarig. That's all I ask of you. Okay, cool. So yeah, I can definitely get double KOs this round. And then as long as Delcatty doesn't go into reverse mode, I'll probably just Super Potion it at the beginning of next turn. And that'll be good. Mawile is a Shadow Pokemon. Mawile is probably going to be pretty decent to keep around if I can manage to snag it. But that's kind of a big if. So, what do you have? Raichu. Okay. So I think the play is going to be Shadow Rush, Raichu, and then heal Delcatty on Gulpin's turn with a Super Potion. Because Mawile's not really going to be able to do anything. Raichu will dig a hole. I'd be embarrassed too, Delcatty. Okay, so Raichu's probably going to hit... I would guess that it's going to hit Gulpin with Dig. So I think that I'm going to Shadow Rush Raichu again because Delcatty's going to be slower. And I'm going to switch to Shroomish, who will take not very effective damage from the Dig. And then I can Stun Spore Mawile, hopefully. Okay, yeah, not very effective damage. If it has any electric moves, those will also be not very effective. And shadow moves are going to be, air quotes, not very effective from Mawile. Okay. Things are under control. Like I said, I'm going to go for... I don't want to plan on Raichu using Dig and just end up looking dumb. But I think the play is going to be Shockwave on Mawile and Stun Spore on Mawile. Okay. It's at least going to be not very effective on Shroomish and Big Chunk on Delcatty, but that's fine. That's fine. That did barely anything. Okay. But it's fine because we're going to paralyze it. Okay. We have a revive. Delcatty feels like the obvious choice for a revival if it comes to that. But here's hoping it doesn't. So Stun Spore onto Mawile is going to be really good. I know I really should practically be focusing down the Raichu, but I feel like I, don't really have any good moves for it. And B, I'm really worried that it's going to use Dig any turn I try to hit it. So I think I'm going to Ember the Mawile and maybe try to Stun Spore the Raichu. Seismic Toss. Okay. This is going to do 23 damage to Shroomish. Mawile's paralyzed, so it's at least not going to get to go before Shroomish. Probably, anyways. Okay, that's a good chunk. I don't necessarily want to risk a crit. So I'm going to try one more Stun Spore on Raichu. What do I want to do here? What do I want to do here? I'm just going to hope that I don't get a crit. I really want to catch this Mawile to be able... No, you know what I'm going to do? Honestly, I'm going to go for a bit of a risky play and just Great Ball the Mawile because I don't want to risk damaging it right now. And I can maybe get a Stun Spore off on Raichu. If Shroomish faints, it's not the end of the world. I'll just send in Gulpin and probably go ahead and preemptively revive Delcatty. Alright, yes, Mawile was caught. That was pretty risky, but I'm glad that it paid off. Seismic Toss. I would rather you hit Vulpix. Unfortunate. Okay, yeah. Swap in Gulpin. Do I need to preemptively revive? I might just be able to hit with Toxic. And Shadow Wave I think is going to do more than Ember right now. Because if it uses Dig a lot, then Toxic's going to be the better choice. Because it'll still take damage on turns when it's digging. Yeah, revive Delcatty, because it'll at least be able to survive a hit or two from Raichu. That's fine, we plan for this, because Toxic's going to go on Raichu, and it's going to whittle it down. Part of me wants to go ahead and Super Potion Delcatty, but its biggest move is going to be Seismic Toss, which is only going to do 23 with no chance of criticals. So I think probably just Shadow Rush away. All right, Shadow Rush and Sludge just to avoid any awkwardness with Static. And there, like I said, so there's a good chance that he's going to go for Gulpin, but I would rather attack with Delcatty. So I'm going to, well, first I think Shadow Rush is still the play regardless, but I'm going to go ahead and use a Super Potion on Delcatty just because I would be worried about potentially getting like a random crit or something on Delcatty. Yeah, I suspected he'd be going for Gulpin, but that's fine. Between Toxic and this Shadow Rush should do a good chunk of damage. I think I'm in a pretty safe spot. Static is fine. Yeah. Unless they get some sort of crazy... Okay, yeah. Whew. These battles are starting to get pretty touch and go, let me tell you that much. Huh. This is taking years off my life right now. All right. But that battle pretty much went as good as it could have, in all honesty. What's up? All right, so next stop is going to be Fenax City. Pretty interesting area there, not gonna lie. But I mean, I can't really like train my team per se, but I might do a little bit of swapping around, see if maybe, just maybe, I could get a chance at getting some interesting moves on some other Pokemon. How's my team looking? Okay, yeah, I did heal. I didn't remember. Yeah, I mean, it was skin of my teeth victory for sure, but it was a victory, and you know, you've got to learn to take the wins, even the small ones. So Mawile is definite in, probably over Gulpin. I think Gulpin's outlived its usefulness. And I think Shroomish is probably too low leveled to be reliable. I guess if I'm only going to be snagging Shadow Pokemon, then like that not very effective damage from Shadow moves is probably going to keep Shroomish a little bit safe. I really don't think Duskull is going to be anything. I think, yeah, Shroomish is probably past its usefulness, just because it's going to be pretty low-leveled for the areas we're going to be in. Okay, geez, I'm struggling with a lot of these menus. So this is what the team is looking like now. I know that you have Trace, and not very good stats at all. Honestly, they're looking lower than Gulpin's stats, or like comparable at best to Gulpin's stats, and Gulpin has Toxic. Let's see. 21, 27, 24, 21. And definitely more health versus... Yeah, mid to high 20s on everything for Gulpin versus like not even 20s with Ralts. Twisted Spoon, I might find a way to use it, but I think for now Gulpin is like strictly better than Ralts. Like maybe if Ralts had like Psybeam as one of its moves, but even then I feel like I would rather just have like something pretty safe and consistent that can actually take a hit. Because, like, yeah, it has 10 more health than Ralts and higher defensive stats on both ends. It's really no competition. Alright, let's head on over to Fedex City. The only Pokemon... Well, Vulpix and Makuhita still need to get their other hidden moves. Makuhita's right there. Vulpix is a little bit further. So I think I'll switch Vulpix and Mawile to the front, just because they have the highest heart gauges right now. And Makuhita will probably get its next move just from having it in the party and walking around. Or whatever the first battle I send it into. It should pretty much instantly unlock its next move. Whew. I don't know. I'm not like super concerned with like hiding story details from y'all because this isn't like a let's play. It's a fun little challenge run that I'm doing. The Fedex City scenario is probably one of my favorite one of my favorite story scenarios in this game. Just because, like, if you've played the first game, then you have that sense of, like, things are just a little bit wrong here. If you try to go back, then the lady will just be like, no, you really ought to go to Realgam Tower. But yeah, the more you know about Colosseum, the more you can notice, like, all of the little ways that Fedex City is maybe not in its usual state right now. Part of me wants to show off battle CDs and battle bingo too, but like I said, you get TMs and maybe some vitamins here and there, maybe some healing items, but nothing that I can really make supreme usage of. I believe there's an item store here that might have some decent stuff, so I'll probably at least check that out, see if I can get any value there. But I'm thinking it's pretty likely a Carbos. So Protein and a Carbos, not anything that I can use right away because these are still very low-leveled Pokemon, but maybe something to keep in my back pocket if I'm really struggling with a boss battle. Okay, this is a Pokemon Center, so I guess the item mart is on the other side. I don't believe you actually need to do any battle facility stuff in order to do the Fennec City scenario. I think you just need to visit Relgem Tower. Alright, what do you have for me? Hyper Potion, full heal. Okay, so you can buy full heals and revives. I figure I'll probably go ahead and grab some of each. 10 revives, that should last me for a decent amount of time until I can actually grind up some more money. Look at all these great TMs that you can just buy that I am never going to have the opportunity to actually use. Sad, but understandable. I guess I could try the Coliseum battle, but I think that it's like level 30-ish. So, not really something I want to risk with my Shadow Pokemon being low-leveled that they are. So yeah, I think I'm just going to see if I can go to Fennec City. And if I can't go to Fennec City, then, I don't know, I guess I'll just die or something. Okay, I can go. But yeah, there's like all sorts of little things you can notice. Like if you didn't play the first game, you see, okay, just a guy running around with his Duskull. There's nothing strange about that. You see, oh, guy standing in front of the shop. He's just doing his job, you know? Or I guess not doing his job because shops need to take breaks too. There's this random kid. Good item boxes that you can get at least. 2 hyper potions. That's pretty solid for this early in the game. Obviously, I'm stuck using low-leveled Pokemon, but even so. So this lady is so bored and she really wants to listen to some music. I don't really have any music. I could play some Darude Sandstorm maybe, but I think I would rather go into this guy's house. You know, open his fridge, eat all his food, sleep in his bed. It's popular among girls, but it's not what a man like me needs or wants. It seemed a waste to just throw it out, so you can have it. Take it with you, okay? So, like, I don't know. That guy is actually just like a normal citizen of Fennec City. And I think for the most part, everyone else is maybe not so much. Oh, it's Rumba of Love. You know the way that notes just like sparkle on the ground? There's trouble brewing. Fennec is the target of Cypher. They're secretly taking over members of the community. The letter ended abruptly. Yeah, as you might have suspected, everyone here is actually an agent of Cypher. Say Viper and Snowrunt. And guess who's a shadow Pokemon? It's Snowrunt. Intimidate is going to be pretty high value throughout a lot of this area, not going to lie. All right, I think I'm just going to Ember, Snowrunt, and Shadow Rush and Shadow Wave. That seems to be a theme with the boss Pokemon thus far, is having both Shadow Rush and Shadow Wave. I guess you could argue whether the Cypher Commander guy was a boss, but like, he was the highest level trainer in the area, and that's pretty much all that a boss is the strongest guy you fight. That's actually something that I really love about like anime and video games, is that like in real life, the most powerful people are just like old white guys who were just like born rich or whatever. But in anime and video games, the head of an organization is usually like the strongest member. I think I'm going to go for another Ember on Snowrunt. I'm not super interested in using it necessarily. Like it might have an interesting move or two, but I don't think Snowrunt has particularly good stats. So I'm not going to be like completely bereaved if I don't get a chance to use it. Like from Seviper, Shadow Wave isn't going to do anything, so probably, I guess it depends on whether Mawile gets the KO on Seviper. But I feel like the best thing will be to try to catch with Vulpix and then hit whatever with Mawile. Yeah, Golbat. I don't think Vulpix is really going to do anything to that. So yeah, I will chuck a Pokeball at Snowrunt and Shadow Rush Golbat. Whew. 2, 3. All right, call it Snowrunt. And next is a Mightyena, which is going to use, well, it's not going to use, it's going to have Intimidate, which is disappointing. But that's fine. Leech Life is not going to do really anything because it's only like 20 base power. And it is resisted by both of my active Pokemon, so that wasn't great damage, but it's not terrible either. Honestly, I think I would rather just use Ember on Golbat, try to focus one of them down. Haha, you missed. Can't miss that. But yeah, I think I'd rather focus down Golbat than try to use Shadow Wave, just because Shadow Wave is not a very good move. It's kind of disappointing that most of the Shadow moves, like the physical Shadow moves tend to be single target and the special ones tend to be multi-target. So special Shadow moves just kind of really get shafted with just the way that they're designed. Though, now that I say that, I think I'm just going to Shadow Wave twice. Because I'm not really sure that either of them can get the KO on their own, but I think if they both Shadow Wave, then I'll have a decent chance at a KO on Golbat, and it'll be some damage starting on Mightyena. Okay, that's something. Alright, yeah, KO on Golbat. Thank you, Mawile. And not terrible. And I think Shadow Rush. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Shadow Wave would do more with my attack lowered, but I don't know. I know that Mawile doesn't exactly have stellar attacking stats regardless, but I think its physical is pretty substantially higher than its special. All right, yeah, that did decent damage. It looks like it's going to be one more turn. And you did all that work raising your attack only to use a special move because Dark type is a special type in this game. Alright, I guess now's the time to send out Makuhita to make sure it gets its next move. Oh, it already had its next move. That's fine. Mawile will get the KO, and that'll be that pretty much. You say I'm gonna waste my time, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Oh, I didn't know that there would be another battle right away. That's fine. Mawile's pretty much at full health, and I think next in line is Delcatty, so should be fine. Murkrow and Pineco, neither of those are going to be terribly threatening to anyone I have. Yeah, Mawile and Delcatty, the two boss Pokemon that we've snagged. This should be a pretty easy fight. Even when you take into account that Pineco is a shadow Pokemon. I like Pineco. I think, again, just because it's very defensive, Um, it's not really going to have much in the way of like real utility to me. But I'm going to focus down Murkrow. Jeez. Murkrow's dealing big damage. I guess it's not surprising Delcatty's starting to fall behind in levels a little bit. Oh. I stand corrected. Delcatty is perfectly doing a good job holding her own, and really I should be so lucky to have such a lovely Pokemon on my team. Shadow Rush. That did about half. So I reckon what I'm going to do is Shockwave Pineco with Delcatty and just hit Ariados with another Shadow Rush from Mawile. I'm pretty sure Pineco is more physically than specially defensive, but okay, yeah, regardless, Shockwave isn't going to do very much. Really? That didn't KO. Interesting. That's got to be on Mawile because it's Ghost-type move. I don't love that. Alright, yeah, I guess next turn I will Vice Grip Pineco. How much damage does Vice Grip do? Not how much damage, what's its base power? 55. I guess it's my best damage move on most Shadow Pokemon for right now, so. Not going to KO, but it should do a decent chunk, and just Shockwave Ariados. It's like 2 HP from KO, so if this doesn't KO, then I'm boxing Delcatty right away. Now, Delcatty served me very well. I think it's just the fact that it's... I mean technically Mawile's fully evolved, but I haven't really had many fully evolved Pokemon so far, just because they aren't really that available this early on in the game. So Delcatty's been beneficial for that reason alone, pretty much, is that I don't need to worry about like stats from it being a basic Pokemon that's also severely underleveled. Call Mawile, do another Shockwave, and then probably time to start catching. Yeah, it's low enough that I can at least chuck a Pokeball. Alright. I think I'll Vice Grip and chuck a Pokeball using Delcatty's turn. Might have to stock up on Pokeballs soon. I hope that I'll be able to buy Great Balls, because there's going to be a couple of tough snags coming up. 3. Alright. Still have not missed a snag. I feel like I've pretty much always missed at least one by this point. Every time I've played this game before, but I guess I'm just doing really well this time. Certainly not complaining. Delcatty can be purified. Alright, time to go talk to Justy. Thankfully, I'm going to be spoiled for choice in all of the Justies that I can talk to. All the totally real and legitimate Justies available in Fanac City. All right. So I believe... I don't actually know if you're required to battle any of the Hexagon Justies. Spoilers, it's the Hexagon Brothers. It's not actually really Justy. I think I might just try going into the pre-gym just to, like, see if I actually have to battle any of the Hexagon Brothers. I know that they drop battle discs for Relgam Tower. But since I'm probably not going to be doing those, I might just see if I can just do story, you know? Okay, well, I can at least battle you. The Hexagon Brothers will not have new Shadow Pokemon. They only have the ones that you already snagged from the beginning of the game. They're good for experience points, obviously, and for what's called the battle CDs that they can give you. But Dig, okay, Dig is decent enough. In fact, I think I will dig onto Linoon and just Shadow Rush Kirlia. Dig is good, at least for me to be able to stall a turn and not have to worry about Vulpix taking damage. See, right there, I just avoided damage by using Dig. Ah, sweet. Mawile is... Obviously, it's my highest level Pokemon, and Shadow moves are super effective on everything, but Mawile's been very reliable. Alright, Shadow Rush on Linoon. Also, yeah, Shadow Natu. It's high enough level that I might find some utility out of it. And obviously I'm going to try to snag it anyways. I think this might be the time that I finally trade in Gulpin. Gulpin has been surprisingly helpful thus far in the journey, but I think that we're probably near or at the end of its usefulness. Also, I wasn't super paying attention, and is that all that Shadow Rush did, or did I just miss somehow with a perfect accuracy move? Okay, yeah, no, I guess I just missed somehow. Like I said, I wasn't paying full attention right then, so I'm not 100% on what just happened there, but I'm really glad that... Oh, I probably flinched. That's probably what it was. All right. I kind of want to see what Makuhita's other move is. And Natu can't use any Psychic or Flying type moves, so it's as safe a time as any. Alright, Mawile is going to Shadow Rush, which will take out Linoon. And then I can just go in on the Natu. Rock Tomb. That is probably going to do more damage than I want to do to this Natu right now, but that is pretty good. Certainly not going to be upset about that. I guess I'll just use Shadow moves to whittle you down. It's not going to be the best damage, but I don't think Natu has very high physical defense. So this should do, unless I miss, this should at least do decent chunks. Or that will be a critical hit. I really don't want to risk Rock Tomb or even Vice Grip, honestly. I could probably do Vice Grip. Vice Grip should be fine. Or I'm just going to keep missing. Did my accuracy get lowered by something that I'm just not remembering? Or I wasn't paying full attention? It must have been. Because I'm pretty sure both Shadow Rush and Vice Grip are 100 accuracy. Okay. That's good enough. I will probably go ahead and chuck a Pokeball and just Shadow Rush with Mawile. One, 2, 3. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. All right. I am probably going to run into the Pokemon Center real quick. I know that you can't actually use the Pokemon Center, but you can use the PC, I'm pretty sure, which will give me the ability to switch out my team and effectively heal them by just virtue of the way that stuff works. All right, what are my party Pokemon? Vulpix is still pretty useful. Makuhita, I can see a lot of utility. Voltorb's been a workhorse. Mawile's been a workhorse. I don't super think that Snorunt or Pineco are going to be terribly useful, so I think I'll just switch out Natu for Gulpin. And all right. Did I even use any? I used Makuhita in that battle. So I will switch in Makuhita. All right. And I will put Mawile and Natu in the front to give them each a chance to learn some more moves. I know that Natu is using Shadow Blitz. I'll go ahead and check your stats real quick. Early Bird, not the most useful. Shadow Blitz, Shadow Shed, better stats than Gulpin, pretty much all across the board. So yeah, for the time being, you are a strict upgrade to Gulpin. Here's hoping that you have some decent additional moves. So for Peon Fasten, better fasten your seatbelts for this battle. I'm not going to try to come up with a pun for every single one, just because I think that's going to get annoying pretty quickly. Then again, I'm no stranger to being annoying very quickly, so maybe it'll just be my brand. Intimidate, such a high value ability in a game full of double battles. All right, Shadow Rush onto Golbat. And I think I'll just focus down Golbat. I don't think Remoraide's going to do anything particularly spooky. Golbat, however, is going to do plenty that's spooky. That was a lot of damage. Yeah, Lock On, I'm not worried about that. All right, Natu is faster than Mawile. That's good information. Super effective. Not very much damage, though. This should do a good chunk. Okay, yeah, one more rush from Mawile will take down the Golbat for sure. And I guess I'll just blitz the Remoraid. Screech, perfectly happy with that. I mean, it's not great, but I'm not too worried about anything that you're going to be doing. All right, I am perfectly happy to have you both waste your turns. Shadow Blitz on Natu. Not too bad. Definitely a rush from Mawile will finish it off. Do you have a Shadow Pokemon? Roselia? No, I don't believe that that's a Shadow Pokemon. So I think I will... no, I stand corrected. I do not remember Roselia being a Shadow Pokemon. It's been too long since I played this game, I guess. I think I would rather finish off Remoraid for sure. And I think I'll just swap in, like, Vulpix to maybe get a cheeky Ember on the Roselia. I don't remember Roselia being a Shadow Pokemon. I like Roselia, though. I'd be happy to swap it in for something. If I can find someone good. I don't know, I feel like most of my current team have been holding their own pretty successfully. I would be hard-pressed to find one that would be, like, good to swap off, per se. If I'm being honest, probably my worst performer thus far has been Vulpix, but Vulpix hasn't even really been doing that bad. I think it's just kind of been overshadowed, but I really don't remember you being a shadow Pokemon, Roselia. I've certainly never used it because Roselia was not very good in these games, but I'm pretty excited about the prospect of using it. I'm not gonna lie. I'll probably switch out Vulpix for it. Or maybe if Natu doesn't pan out, I'll switch out Natu. But Natu's higher leveled. We'll see what moves Natu has under the last 2 slots before I make any snap decisions. Decent chip. Maybe you need a Premier Ball. Maybe you're gonna be the special one this time around. I know the Voltorb was the special one before, but maybe you're gonna be the special one now. That's fine. Shadow Wave, not gonna do terribly much. Yeah, I think I'm starting to see Vulpix's frailty kind of be a bit of a downside. And Roselia is at least a fully evolved Pokemon, even if it's only by virtue of not evolving in this generation. But it has decent enough stats. I don't know. Let me look real quick. Oh yeah, those are actually quite decent stats. I think Roselia is probably gonna be the play over Vulpix moving forward, because it's doing respectable damage with Shadow Wave, which is something that I haven't been able to say about anything else so far. So that alone, I mean, it's proof enough in itself. Let's see. Do I have any status moves? No, I do not. Natu's already gotten its heart gauge. Yeah, I think I'll just call Vulpix or something. One, two, three. Ah. It was so close, too. Like, even against Shadow Pokemon, Roselia's been doing, like, decent chunks of damage with Shadow Wave. That's just not been the reality that I've been dealing with up until this point. Just call again. Was Roselia always a Shadow Pokemon? I'm really taken off guard by this. I'm not gonna lie, because I don't remember catching a Roselia in this game. I could battle Not Justy right away, but my team is in shambles a little bit. And like I said, I think I'm going to go ahead and grab that Roselia. I think I'm just going to go to, like, the Desert Lab or something. I know that it's probably technically slower, but I don't know. I'd rather just use the thing instead of having to try to navigate the menus quickly. So heal you up. And if I ever have a chance to use the charcoal again, I will remember to grab it from Vulpix. Switch Roselia to the front. I know that I'm down to like 8 Pokeballs or something like that. So I probably should go ahead and stop by Agate Village real quick, see if they have Great Balls, hopefully, for sale. But if not, then at least some Pokeballs. I also know that I just spent a lot of money on revives, which I may not even need to use, but Great Balls, okay. Yeah, I'll buy 8 of them. I still have 7 Pokeballs, 8 Great Balls. That should be enough for Fennec City at least. And I'll grind money if I need to for future snagging. I don't suspect I will. This is a very battle-heavy series. Or a very battle-heavy sort of like spin-off series. So I'm probably going to get a lot of just like passive income, so to speak, by virtue of all of the incidental battling that I'm going to be doing. All right, let's talk to Justy. Oh no, it's not Justy. I knew it wasn't Justy. I just played a little prank on you. Kadabra and Sneasel. Maybe not the best matchup for these guys, but I've never been one to shy away from a challenge. Shadow Wave, and I would really rather get Kadabra off the field. Let's see who's not going to get to do anything this turn. That's the Pokemon who I really would have rather had been able to do something this turn. That's fine. That's less fine. Okay, neither of my Pokemon are going to get to do anything this turn. Okay. Well, I'm really going to need you to pull something together here for me. Okay, Intimidate, so Sneasel's going to be much less threatening. Kadabra is going to be downright terrifying still, but... Psybeam on... I hope that you do something dumb, use it on Mawile, but no, you're going to use it on Roselia, and it is going to get a KO. Okay, Roselia's debut battle is going horribly. So let's get out Delcatty. When all else fails, Delcatty. Bonk. That's going to do... Alright, nice. One shot on Kadabra. That's what we like to see. Misdreavus. Not too worrisome. I think that I would rather focus down Sneasel. I know that it's double teamed, which means that there's a chance that neither of my Pokemon hit it, which is why I'm doubling up. Shockwave, not worried. Yeah, that's totally fine. Shadow Rush. Right, it is going to hit, and it's going to get a crit, and it's still not going to KO. Yeah, I think Delcatty is starting to be hitting a little bit above its weight class. Psybeam, not going to be terribly threatening. Yeah. Okay, here's hoping that Delcatty can get the Shadow Rush on Sneasel, which gets the KO. Very good. I think it might be time to switch out for a better normal type. Maybe a cat would be good. Just sort of keep with the cat theme from Delcatty. Oh, would you look at that? Yeah, this is Shadow Meowth. Delcatty, are you going to KO yourself with reverse mode? Because if you KO yourself with reverse mode, that'll be pretty embarrassing. Oh well. Honestly, Delcatty has been kind of amazing on the team so far. I really can't undersell how valuable of a member it's been, but I think its time has finally come. Shadow Rush, not going to do anything, but it's good to know that it does have Shadow Rush, and not Blitz, because I'm definitely at a stage where I'm going to need a little bit more power out of my moves, as I'm going to be underleveled for most battles. Bonk with Shadow Rush, down goes Misdreavus, and I'm hoping for a low roll on Arm Thrust. I'm hoping for only 2 or 3 hits. Oh, actually, it looks like 5 isn't even going to KO it unless I get, like, multiple crits. Alright, yeah, no, we're in a really good position. So I will chuck a Pokeball and hit you with the Shadow Rush. I don't actually know if Meowth will have better stats than Delcatty. I think it probably will at least be faster. I don't actually remember. I wasn't paying super close attention. But faster is faster. I mean, hard to argue with that. All right. Now I've got to go find the key to the pre-gym. I wonder where that could possibly be. I believe that all of the Hexagon Brothers still drop the battle CDs if you don't bother battling them. Like, they're purely optional. If I completely lose out on the possibility of ever using those battle CDs, then, oh well, that's my mistake. But I don't think it'll be a problem. I'm going to go check on that Meowth, see how its stats compare to my Delcatties. And if the stats look big enough in Meowth's favor, I'll probably just go ahead and switch it out. All right, what do you got going on here? 30 attack, 29 defense, so mid-20s up until 30 attack. Really high speed. Faster is faster. All right, what's Delcatty looking like? Okay, it's got a little bit higher stats pretty much across the board, but it's much slower, and it doesn't really have that much higher HP. So I'll switch it out, and if Meowth doesn't really get any good moves, then I might consider bringing Delcatty back in for a boss fight. If I don't get any other better options between now and then. That said, I've been live for about 3 hours. And I think I made a pretty good amount of progress this stream. It's hard to really be upset about it. So I think for now, I'm just going to call it here. Thank you very much to the 2 people who viewed for an average of 28 seconds. This is higher viewership than my first stream, so that's something to be thankful for, I guess. But yeah, I think I am just going to call it. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to continue making this a somewhat regular thing.